BWS, Beer, Wine and Spirits.
On the first, magnificent, great chance. It doesn't get much better. Geelong is the hottest team going around. The Cats have won 6 on the trot and stand tall in the 4, but have not won on the road this season, losing all 4 games, 3 of those by a goal or less as the Crows come out onto the field. It's a magnificent day here at Amy Stadium, and there's the Cats just biding their time, itching to get out onto Amy Stadium to have a crack today at the Crows, because they haven't won on the road so far this season. Beside me is the Kingmaker, the man who told us first that Neil Craig would be the coach of the Crows.
Had to get one right eventually, KB. 1 a year is my average at the moment, but looking forward to the game. Crows haven't been too bad under Neil Craig, but there's a lot to admire about this Geelong side. Young, but the vision of Mark Thompson starting to materialise now.
And of course there's Mark Risciuto, the skipper, and some people even suggesting that maybe he can win his 2nd Brownlow medal this year. Let's have a look at the ladder, because I suppose at the start of the season we would have thought maybe positions would have been swapped.
Well, optimistic Crows fans would have certainly thought they would have been around the place come September, but their list hasn't been good enough this year. Geelong's, on the other hand, after a very slow start, just outstanding, haven't they? And a top 4 berth now at stake today.
Yes, with the Cats losing their first 3 games of the season, and at one stage they're calling for the blood of the coach and also the president. Let's have a look at the lineups, because there's Matthew Scarlett. He's the key to the Cats' defence.
It certainly is. All Australian, no doubt. Their defence, the best in the comp, no doubt. Last week the Crows forward line's got a real good look at the footy against Richmond. Welsh, Henschel and a couple of others got in, kicked some goals, Perry another one. So those players will need to do it again today, but they won't get the latitude they got last week.
Someone saying that Tom Harley is the All-Australian centre-half back.
Why not? Been the cornerstone of Geelong's defence and a reason why they're in the top 4. Have a look at Trent Henschel, though. He's a kid of the future. Will play centre-half forward for the Crows in the not-too-distant future. Can play.
Mark Risciuto versus Cameron Ling. We can salivate over that one.
You certainly can. Ling's got a big job. Rue's been their best player all year, no doubt. Goodwin and Burton are back in. Missed a lot of games with footy, but Wojcinski and Koulouridis give Geelong some pace off the wings and maybe a touch of advantage in that area.
Wojcinski is a very important player with that pace. Cameron Mooney at centre-half forward. A very young half-back line with Riley and Bock.
Very young half-back line for the Crows. Geelong's forward line has got some real body strength about it. It's going to be a big difference between the 2 teams. I think Mooney and Kingsley, big, strong bodies. Some thinner bodies for the Crows, but Nathan Bock, a very good player at centre-half-back.
Big effort today for young Rutten playing against the litmus test for the Cats, Ben Graham.
He's had big jobs week in, week out, done extremely well. Maybe a little bit exposed last week against Matthew Richardson, but he is the ideal match-up against Benny Graham. We'll need some help from Bassett and Mattner if they're going to hold Geelong to under 15 goals.
Ben Graham kicks goals, Geelong will win the game. Stephen King in the ruck, but of course everyone down at Geelong just loves Gary Ablett Jr.
Yeah, wouldn't you love to see McLeod and Ablett go head-to-head? I doubt that's going to happen, but Chapman's been a quality player for them again. I mean, that is a class first ruck that does kick some goals as well, which is very important. Stengon, I think, will get the job on Ablett.
Well, Gary Ablett is such a great tackler, and he just really does lift the Geelong side. Shirley and Laddams, of course, interchange bench, and Stevens and Jericho. A lot of goal-kicking power on the bench as well.
Yeah, good to see Laddams get a game. Only played 4 games this year. His career's on the line, as Neil Craig has said, but he's a class act, needs to play well today, and Geelong with a lot of flex on their bench as well.
And there's the Cats ready to get out onto Amy Stadium. Yet to win on the road this year. They lost 3 of those games by a goal or less, 26 points, of course, to Fremantle. They'll be very, very keen. Let's go down to the rooms, because Mark Aisen is down there with Neil Craig, the coach, and he's posed the question. It's another big step for the Crows.
Yeah, it is an important day for us in that area. So, you know, legitimate, you know, finals opposition, and a club that's been building for a long time, Geelong. So we see it as a big challenge for us, and also, as you said, an important step again to where we want to go as well.
And they've got a terrific defence, haven't they?
Yeah, statistically probably the best in the comp. So once again, you know, for our younger kids up forward, it'll be good to play on the Harleys and the Scarletts and Sandersons and, you know, the Moonies, that type of player. Plus it'll be an experience for our midfield to try and get the ball in there with some sort of system.
Gee, they had a tough day last week in the bog. Do you feel as though you can capitalise on that at all?
No, I think that's a bit of a myth, Mark. Actually, I think playing in the wet in those real boggy conditions actually don't take so much out of it at all. There's less body contact, you know. It's so no, I don't think it'll be an issue at all.
And what about you, Neil, as coach? Good to get last week out of the way?
Oh yeah, but I mean, really, Mark, and I'd like to think nothing changed. You know, it's the mentality that I started with in stepping in the role, and when Gary left, hopefully flowed over, and I'd like to think that I did the job in the first 6 or 7 weeks exactly the same as I'll do the job now.
Good luck.
Thanks, Mark. Looking forward to it.
Mark Asen has been very busy. He also caught up with Bombers coach Bomber Thompson.
Welcome to Adelaide.
Yeah, you've put on the good weather for us. Very happy to be here.
It's a beautiful day. You haven't travelled well. This year, I think it's 4 losses away, but they've all been close.
All been close, all close last year. We've just played reasonable footy but don't win. And it's a great test today for us to come to Adelaide and beat Adelaide, who are in some pretty good form.
OK, you mentioned it's a great test. It is a very, very important game for you, isn't it, sitting in 4th spot?
It is. Look, we have to keep winning to give you a chance to sort of stay in the top 4. And if we do stay in the top 4, it's a good chance that we'll play a final interstate. So for a lot of reasons, it is an important game.
Have you built your team around defence? I mean, it's not only an outstanding defence, it's a very tough defence too, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it started a long time ago. It started 4 or 5 years ago, but we certainly did build it up from there, and then we went on to the midfield, and the last to work on was a forward line, and we're just starting to get there now.
Did it in order. What are you expecting from Adelaide, Bomber?
Oh, look, I'm expecting a full stadium and a game that Adelaide are going to just really go out and enjoy and try and take us as a scalp, see us as a scalp, because we are in the finals and they're not. I came over and watched them play last week, and they played fast, free-flowing footy, and I expect much of the same.
Good to talk to you. Well done and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Bomber Thompson, can the Cats win on the road? We'll take a break. We'll come back with all the action from Amy Stadium. It's the Crows versus the Cats.
The Idol Top 12's an exclusive club. Only 6 singers have made it in, and now the final 10 are lining up.
7 o'clock Sunday, it's semi-final 3, and this last group knows what it takes to impress the nation.
But can they perform under pressure?
Can't pull the wool over their eyes, guys. You better be good.
Then 7:30 Monday, it's Judgment Day. Who'll survive 2 big nights of Idol? 7 o'clock Sunday and continues Monday.
Drugs on the planet. Jump Mania, Adelaide Entertainment Centre this Sunday afternoon. The family show that wowed Adelaide last year is back with US legend truck Barefoot and Transzilla 2. Jump Mania, the Entertainment Centre this Sunday afternoon. Book it fast now.
Watch. Nay. Pause. To win up to $1 million with cash in your Coke nightly draw.
Remember, drink Coke, peel label, sign name, send in, watch neighbours.
And good luck.
Getting ready for today's big game? Well, get ready for more AFL action on Widescreen Weekend. If you're still watching the game on a standard television, you're not getting the whole picture. With a widescreen plasma, you not only experience more game, more action, more excitement, but you receive the highest quality digital picture. So for the best advice on widescreen plasmas, talk to the guys at Harvey Norman. Widescreen, the only way to view the game.
Welcome back to Amy Stadium, and Stephen King has won the toss and is elected to kick left of screen. Geelong so far this year have been the big surprise packet of the competition, and after losing those first 3 games of the season, they have bounced back and find themselves now as the hottest team going around in the competition. Stephen King there, chatting away. And, of course, there's another game taking place at the moment. That's Carlton versus Melbourne. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. And joining us in commentary today is Wayne Swass. Wayne, who do you think is going to win this big game?
I think, KB, the Cats will be too strong, but as we see year after year, these are danger games. Adelaide, terrific win against the Tigers last week. Great last quarter. They won't go down without a yelp, and look, in front of a parochial home crowd, I expect them to make it tough, but I just think the Cats, they're playing beautiful football at the moment.
And roaming the boundary line for us today is Mark Asen. Mark, good afternoon.
Hey, KB, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Sanders is the chairman of the Adelaide Footy Club. We wish him all the best. He had a bit of a heart scare during the week, was in hospital for a couple of days. So, Bill, if you're watching, all the very best. Now, the temperature, 18 degrees at the moment, 19 degrees estimated maximum temperature. Should be a beauty.
Thanks for that, Mark. Who are you tipping, Chris?
Look, I think the Crows are a real chance to have an upset. I know Neil Craig played down Geelong's game against Freo last week, but 200 tackles would suggest that it's a fairly strong body contact game. Have they paid a price for it? They don't travel well to Amy Stadium. 1 out of 10's their record against the Crows, so I'm going for an upset, KB.
And we just saw there McLeod being picked up by David Johnson. There'll be some terrific matchups in this game. Cameron Ling, of course, at some stage. He'll be on Mark Rasciuto. Here's Stenglein with the ball, trying to break the tackle. Can't do so. And it's a ball up, still inside the centre square.
Just the other defensive matchups are Scarlett on Scotty Welsh and Harley on Ian Perry. Took 14 marks last week. I don't think he'll get much freedom this week.
No, the defence of Geelong, we heard Mark Asen talking to Bomber Thompson about that, as Corey with the ball, back edge of the centre square. Short kick, Burton did well, picked up by Rasciuto, who bangs the ball on. It's a big kick. Covers plenty of ground. And it's gone out on the full. But there might be a bit of breeze, Chris.
Yeah, there's certainly a little bit of breeze, maybe worth a goal or two going right of screen.
So the whistle is gone. And the ball is going to come back. Now Scarlett kicked the ball in.
I think it's a Crows free kick. It's against Joel Corey on Tyson Stenglein for an incident behind the play. And Scotty Welsh gets the Crows' first shot at goal from the forward pocket. Happened about 50 metres off the play.
Well, it's a good pickup, and this could be a dream start for the Crows, and Scotty Welsh wants to go short, looking for that short player, but chipping in is Milburn, comes away from half-back, kicks the ball wide. It's a beautiful kick, and finds Johnson. Stephen Johnson on a long lead. He's across half-back. Cats keen to get the ball moving. Under a lot of pressure, Wazinski bounced off his opponent, taken by Harley, hammers the ball back towards the half-forward line. John Cock running with the flight of the ball. That'll be a contest. John Cock and Chapman, they tied up. The great McCarthy wants a free kick. He'll get a ball up on 50.
Good match-up, that one, KB, and importantly as well for the Crows, Dowdy running with the exciting Gary Ablett. So there are a couple of pivotal matchups this afternoon that will determine the outcome this afternoon. There's the bounce. No ruckman gets the tap. Stenglein won that free kick. Goodwin in front. Maintained possession. Coulroydis got the tackle. Scrubs the kick. Only as far as Harley. Heads back in the other direction. There's that little man we spoke about. Steve Johnson does the crumbing. First chance inside 50 for Geelong. It's a bouncing ball. Wrong side of the post. And there's the first score this afternoon, courtesy of Stephen Johnson. Just got so many avenues to attack Geelong in their forward line. Benny Rutten with the big job on Ben Graham. Nathan Bassett on Kingsley. Some big jobs for the Crows youngsters.
Burton's got it across half-back. Crows were fantastic in the last quarter against the Tigers. Struggled for most of the day. But in that last quarter, somehow just got their game going, so they should have some confidence. Here's Stenglein, the high flyer, couldn't take it. Milburn again, coming off a great game last week. Here's King, can set it up, their playmaker, back to Milburn, upended, wobbles the kick inside the centre square, trying to share the ball around. They do well. Coulroydis kicks the ball back, deep towards the forward line. Here's Ablett, the danger man's got it. Maybe a bit of magic by Ablett, kicks a goal!
Call in for these great specials. Carlton Cold, only $29.99 a carton, or Kaiser Stall 5 litre casks, just $9.99 each. And Canadian Club, buy 2 for only $48 or $24.99 each. Peter Lehman Core Range, just $7.99 each for 6 or more. And Trilogy Cuvée Brut, only $10.99 each, plus a bonus Magnum with a dozen.
So the Cats, through Gary Ablett, get the first goal of the afternoon. 1-1, the Crows yet to score. King, hard off the line, Wojcinski. Got it back to Ling. The Cats go inside 50, or towards inside 50. Ablett, as you spoke, KB, not only is he very good skillfully, but he wraps people up when he gets an opportunity. They're just brutal with their tackling, Geelong. Neil Craig will need to watch that match up with Michael Dowdy. Michael Dowdy's missed 4 weeks with a fractured cheekbone. Probably still finding his way. Stenglein is probably the man for Ablett Jr. How long will he be there? Burton heads towards the safety of the boundary line. throw in. Attacked early the Crows. Geelong's bench, Callan, Gardner, Riccardi and Tenace. Some youth with experience. Geelong by 7 points early in the first quarter. King in the direction of Ablett, set upon by Dowdy. Bushudo releases Stengline. This is better Adelaide. Through the middle, down the channel. Finds Henschel. Ignores McLeod. Wheels around, goes towards Welsh. Marked closely by Scarlett. Biglands did well for a big man. Has Goodwin in support. It's a high ball, it'll hang in the air. Geelong with the numbers coming through, showing great courage. David Johnson, ball spills free. Harley mops up. Deliberate. Oh. Scott Welsh took a free kick from the opposite side, plays on, opens up the angle. This for the Crows first. Doesn't get it.
Scotty Welsh, a very dangerous man around goals for the Crows. 4 goals last week. He's been their star performer in the forward line the last half of the season. Gets the lucky free kick. Had a couple of opportunities, hadn't been able to put a score or a goal on the board for the Crows at this early stage, but at least he's touching the ball. Good signs for the Crows.
Well, this game could be decided in the first quarter because whoever wins it, Geelong is number 1 as far as first quarters leads this year, 14 out of 20. Adelaide are second on the table, 13 out of 20. So they both start well. Here's Goodwin. Just starting to find that form after a long time out of the game. This is a penetrating kick right to the line. What a kick. What a goal.
For a flavour hit on the go, try KFC's new Meteors. Real whole breast chicken pieces in a feisty, hot and spicy coating. KFC's new Meteors for a flavour hit on the go.
Kicked a goal last week. He's got himself one early in the first quarter that ties up the score. Back in the middle. Clark, decisive, down to Edwards. Inside 50 again. Ball spills free, getting back Corey, but swooping quicker is McLeod. That's a good sign for the Adelaide supporters here at Amy Stadium. Maintains possession. What can the Mercurial one? Stands in the tackle, opens up the angle. Could this be a quick goal? No. Biglands couldn't finish off the good work. Hit the post.
Neil Craig very keen to get Biglands up forward. Thinks he is a marking and goal-scoring option up there. Started last week, had a couple of opportunities early, then was benched and not tried again. Starting today, again up in the forward lines, but again, missing an opportunity he should have kicked.
Want to take those opportunities.
Well, you've got to, and that's the flaw in Rhett's game. He probably hasn't taken the opportunities that he should have taken.
Adelaide dominating the clearances 5-1. Good kick out by Josh Hunt. Here's a penetrating kick. Here's Edwards. That was clever play. Finds Henschel, goes short. Finds the champ. McLeod will be kicking from right on 50. Now Riley's coming off and Shirley's coming on, so we'll check with Mark Asen because he does appear to be limping. And he's been such an important player. That young man on screen has really added some bite to that half-back line. Now, there was Biglands being held off screen. Just wasn't picked up.
Got to have a shot, McLeod, certainly within range.
Mooney had certainly a good hold on the jumper. McLeod from right on 50, fancies his chances, has to bend it back right to left again. A big pack of players, and Mooney have to thump it through for a behind.
Got to think Andrew McLeod does have some sort of leg trouble. A lot of speculation about his health this year. I probably haven't seen him in the vintage form, but not getting any penetration out of his leg last week. Very reluctant to have shots at goal again from 45 metres out, not making the distance. Nowhere near the penetration we're used to seeing from Andrew McLeod.
A couple of weeks ago, Chris, we saw him down in Tasmania playing across half-back for about 2.5 quarters and really didn't look interested.
They've changed the role the last 2 weeks, got him back more playing a forward role in a dangerous position and playing better footy.
Matner stands and delivers. Handball came from Clark. Chance out in front. That time was Welsh. Attacks the ball hard. Here's Goodwin for goal number 2. He's a dead-eyed Dick. No, he's not. Pushed it left. Through for a minor score. Let's go down to Mark Aston.
Yeah, the doc working on the right ankle there of Riley. I'll keep you up to date as to how bad it is. He didn't seem to limp as he was coming off, but it looks as though, in fact, there's a couple of the guys now working on it, so it may not be good. I'll keep you up to date.
Josh Hunt, normally a good kick from fullback. Lucky to make the distance there to Steve Johnson. another important player back into the lineup after breaking an ankle in the pre-season. Kick finds Ling. Gives it off to the runner in Wojcinski. Came in for the suspended James Bartel. Heads up in the direction of that Kent Kingsley. Couldn't take the mark. Could spoil Bassett. Geelong with the numbers. David Johnson this time. Kolorodis with some pace. Did well. Went backwards to Hunt. Great smother. Adelaide putting pressure on at all opportunities. That's pleasing. No doubt Neil Craig.
This is fantastic by Dowdy because he's actually copped a boot in the head as well.
He certainly does put his body on the line. Michael Dowdy, an emerging talent. Really important the Crows start this game well, both physically and attacking-wise. Neil Craig wants to take control of this game from an early start, from the early stages, and the Crows playing well early.
Burton, was he taken high? Ablett did well, tapped it to himself, needs to be clean at ground level, normally is. Has a teammate pushing forward, spots up the kick, good one at that, Stephen Johnson. Tight angle, in the shadows of the stand. And go over the top, Ling's push forward again, poor marking Adelaide. Not the right side for a left footer, but a chance to kick the Cats second. Looks to lay it off. A little bit fortunate there, Adelaide, Chris. They need to mark up Darren Milburn.
Yeah, it's not their strength.
Second time round. Good kick. Steve Johnson gets it back. Opens the angle up a bit. We'll go back and have a shot. 45-degree angle.
And Wayne, your point's great. I think it's something that Adelaide really do need to learn to do, especially their midfield. They give their direct opposition far too much latitude, both in field play, and when the ball goes inside 50. And teams like Geelong, who do chip short, will cut you up if you don't pay your opposition due respect.
13 goals, 10 in 8 games after missing the first 12 rounds with a broken ankle. This for his first for the afternoon. Starts it right, fades left for a behind.
Two behinds to Steve Johnson. He has been a very important player. Across that half-forward line, throwing the mix with Kent Kingsley and Ben Graham. He just gives that medium-sized forward, can kick goals. Here's a chance for Clark. Too much carry on the ball. Wojcinski had it and lost it. Corey tried to paddle the ball long in front. Kingsley did well. Back to Wojcinski. They're sharing the ball around. David Johnson. Great vision, goes wide and finds the great McCarthy. He's on the edge of the centre square. 1-4-10 the Crows, 1-2-8 the Cats. Looking for Johnson, Chapman, danger man, John Cox. What do you think about that matchup, Chris?
Like it.
Matner comes away, drills the ball, finds Tyson Edwards. So bouncy. Might see him at full forward later in the game as well, coming out of the square. Here's the Mr. Fix-It man, Risciuto. Got a lucky bounce, set him up well. To the half-forward line, running with a flight is Hunt. Beaten that time by Goodwin. Rockets the ball back. Stenglein stands his ground. He's strong in the tackle. Taken away by Sanson. Short kick. Again to Kurilitis, who likes to play on at every opportunity. That's clever play by King. Kicks the ball 45-50 metres. Surely over the top, has come off the bench. Replaced Riley. And he's given away the free kick. So it's going to Johnson, who has been a live wire up forward. This is possession number 6. Wojcinski can run with the ball. He can run to 50. Stands on the front edge of the centre square. Easy as that. And kicks a goal.
At Radio Rentals, you can pick up what you want and pay no interest until 2008. That's a huge 4 years interest-free on widescreen plasma and LCD TVs. Jump in for a massive 4 years interest-free on lounges. Land a brand new bed and pay no interest until 2008 and get 4 years interest-free on computers. Time's running out to get a record-breaking 4 years interest-free at SA's biggest electrical retailer. Now that's big.
So the Cats get their second. Wojcinski's first. Missed last week with a hip injury. King on the second attempt in the direction of Ablett. Marked closely by Dowdy. Both players went to ground. It's not coming out in a hurry and we'll have a bounce.
A couple of areas for Neil Craig to be worried about. One is Johnson. The matchup with Robert Shirley, as you see, KB had 6 touches. Wojcinski's had 5 on Brett Burton. A couple of the matchups that aren't quite working for the Adelaide Footy Club.
Milburn flies, went without the ball, spills out in the direction of Matner, has support and Stenglein. Edwards leads in the race, met heavily. Ball out of bounds, we'll have a throw in. Geelong in front by 4 points. No, there's a free kick being paid. Kularoidis, the recipient. Long inside 50, wrestling there. Good mark, floating in from the side, Nathan Bassett. But the whistle's blown again. There's a free kick against Dowdy by the look of it. Gary Ablett Jr.
I think he paid it for shepherding or holding. Bassett flew in third man up. In very good form, Nathan Bassett. But again, Crows paying the price for a undisciplined free kick. And this bloke doesn't let you off the hook too often.
Will kick from 45. Ooh. Stabs at it, won't make the distance. They'll contest at the edge of the square. Rush through for a behind.
Bit of a strange kick then, I thought, from Gary Ablett.
Yeah, it was. It looked like he just went to lay it up in the goal square. It only came off 3 or 4 paces. Didn't kick through the ball at all. I mean, he gives the ball a real roost. But again, letting the Crows off the hook.
Got very close to the man on the mark. The Cats lead by 5 points. 2-3-15 plays the Crows 1-4-10. McCarthy, just his 4th game for the season. Ling the tackler. Edwards, those quick hands. Sets the ball up. They bring the ball away to the half-forward line. Again, it's Perry. Got rid of Tom Harley and drills the ball in and finds Bigland, who could be a problem up forward. Big and strong, and he's generally a good kick.
He's a problem because he's a big, strong gorilla, that's for sure. I mean, his body is huge. He does lead at the ball. He presents himself okay, and as we've seen already today, he just sprays them a little bit, gets opportunities, but if he burns them too often, a coach is going to lose faith. This is one of the goals he's just got to kick.
He's kicked 5 goals for the season. Bigland's just hoping to bring it back.
So you can't afford to have him miss them like that. I mean, better off having a player who's not so imposing, but you know, gets his 4 or 5 touches and kicks 3 goals. Rhett Bigland's 2 shots at goal from inside 30, missed them both. Crows know they've got to put Geelong under pressure early, and 1 goal 5, not a good enough start for them.
Yes, you've got to be an innate goal kicker, someone who can get 3 or 4 touches and kick goals. Here's Goodwin. It's already been a goal kicker, goes short, goes wide, finds Matner, stands and delivers from right on 50. And again, a wasted opportunity. He bent it back. The Crow supporters reckon he's kicked it. He has.
Go for service, go for value, go for huge range and expert advice. At Better Electrical, we'll always go for bulk buying power that keeps prices low on the big name brands. And go for big choice at locally owned stores that always put you first. When you're ready to buy,
Matner gets his first and importantly gets his side in front by 2 points. King in the direction of Corey, couldn't take possession. Mopping up Milburn, has a player in short, that's Ling. They go inside 50 in the direction of Graham. He got rid of his opponent, Rutten. Takes a good mark. Distance won't be a problem for Ben Graham. He'll line up for his first this afternoon.
Not much you can do when you get good service like that. Getting the ball from Geelong out of the centre far too easily. Cameron Ling having a real influence on this game. His 5th disposal. And Benny Graham, when he attacks the ball like that, is impossible to spoil. Benny Rutten did as good as he possibly could have, but not good enough on that occasion.
Best against the Crows, 3-2 in round 14, 1999. Ben Graham, normally a great kick. Straight over the umpire's head. He gets his first, and the Cats third.
Mobile phones, they can save your life. But did you know they can also kill you?
Sometimes they do.
A must-see Criminal Intent at 8:30. Then on NCIS at 9:30.
Possible execution-style murder of a Navy lieutenant commander. Would like to take over the investigation.
I don't think so.
This will be twice the crime anyone expected.
2 killers on the list.
All new NCIS following Criminal Intent Sunday.
35 goals for the season of the Ben Graham. 3-9-21 the Cats. The Crows 2-5-17. It's a 4-point ball game. Let's go down to Mark Asen because Riley's been trying to run around.
Yes, he had a crack at it, KB, but he's gone down the race, so that ankle may be a little bit worse than first thought. They worked on it, the doctors. They put his sock and shoe back on, and then he went straight down the race.
Mark, thanks for that, because he has been such an important player as Burton. Toe pokes the ball forward. There's Sanderson, as brave as they come with the ball in game number 196. Harley to his partner in crime, Scarlett. Tries to drill the ball, looking for Kent Kingsley. Hit the ball hard, back to Ling, their playmaker, their general, to McCarthy. Back to Kingsley. They're just fiddling around with the ball as Ling, with a loopy hand pass, gives it back to Johnson. That's better play now. Hammers the ball back towards centre half forward. McCarthy thought he got a push out. Mark's been taken by Bock. He's played a bit up forward and he's played a bit down back.
Dead set backman KB just looks so much more at home in the back half. Judges the ball well, as he did on that occasion. Had a job on Nick Rewalk for half against St Kilda and did okay. And no, he's a talent, but a dead set backman.
Edwards just weighing up his options. On several occasions now, he's been that player out wide that they've gone to, so he might be their go-to player. Here's a chance for Matner. Outside 50. Here's Biglan's going back and kicked the ball not off the ground. Couldn't get there in time. Mooney with his nearly his hands behind his back as the umpire was doing at the same time. Just thought he might have been giving away the free kick, but it's been forced through for a behind, off hands. And I think the Crow supporters thought maybe there could have been a free kick. Kane Tenace warming up. Number 1 pick in the draft for the Cats. Super quick. Sanderson. Short to Mooney.
Left back pocket, Cameron Mooney. Has Koularitis. Edge of the square, back end. Good kick. So often like to set up off half back the Cats through the likes of Wojcinski, Sanderson, Milburn and the like. Heads towards McCarthy to fly. So that's a good mark. Taken by that young man. You gave a pretty big rap on Chris McDermott. Bock.
Yep, a talent no doubt. And while that might have had a little bit of luck about it, kept his eyes on the footy and got the reward.
The Crows ring the changes. Stengline off, Shirley on. Clark off for Jericho.
This bloke can play.
Henschel, 4 goals last week. Perhaps he's best for the club. Looks a likely type up forward, Chris.
Yeah, certainly a real talent. Spent a bit of time back as well, like Nathan Bock, but again, he will develop into their key centre-half forward.
In the direction of Burton. Unkind bounce. Jericho just on the ground, releases Perry, wrong side for the left footer. Not a bad attempt. Ian Perry coming back. Puts it through. Ian Perry gets his first. And the Crows take the lead again.
Hey, Trev, I've noticed a pattern.
Yeah, what's that?
My house at Goodwood burned down. My house at Norwood burned down. My house at Blackwood burned down. And every time I've been burnt by the insurance company. So, no more suburbs with wood in them. I'm moving.
Where to?
Burnside.
Fifth lead change for the quarter. 3-6-24 the Crows. The Cats 3-3-21.
When Ian Perry's kicking him with his right foot, KB, get on.
Gee, they've lost by 6 points to Sydney this year. Geelong on the road, and also 4 points to Port Adelaide, 2 points to West Coast, 26 points to Fremantle, although they had a big chance of winning that game as well. They've been close on the road so far without a win. Here's Milburn. Chips the ball high. He's looking for McCarthy and chipping in. Here's Biglan strutting his stuff now across half back.
Good signs all around the park for the Crows. They're big men taking contested marks. That doesn't happen too often. They've certainly got Geelong under the pump at the moment.
There was a thumping kick, and McLeod has pounced on it. Puts the foot on the accelerator. A bit of magic. Not enough power on the ball. He just went to chip it through and let it bounce through, and Scarlett, who's so quick, read it well. Pat on the back because he got back and took the easiest of marks. Tom Harley from half-back finds Milburn. The Cats now on the rebound. Henschel chases hard. Milburn to the half-forward line, looking for Johnson. There's good body work. He's got 2 to beat. John Cock. Quick hands. Back to Doughty. They keep sharing around Rutten. Big man in a hurry. Back to Baru. Risciuto. Poor kick by John Cock. Taken by Hunt to Sanderson. The veteran tries to set it up, goes wide, finds Charlie Gardner from the centre square. Penetrating kicks and pushing and shoving. He was looking for Kingsley. Here's a chance. Ablett heads it back. And the young champs kicked the goal.
And KB, the young champ, showing the old champ, Andrew McLeod, how to do it. Ablett kicks his second, but that's what you do when you get the ball inside 50. You bang it and kick it post high. Andrew McLeod just tries to lay the ball up in the goal square and be a fraction cute, pays the price. Scarlett the intercept. The 2-goal turnaround, and Gary Ablett Jr. all class and a headache for Neil Craig.
That's his second goal for the term and his 30th goal for the season. And he's developed now as a player who was starting on the bench and coming on as an impact player. Now, of course, he's seen as one of their keys.
6th lead change for the quarter. Mooney into the ruck, as is Bigland's got the tap down to McLeod. Bounce goes inside 50, Sanderson. Milburn gets the handball out in the direction of Wojcinski. Harley with some time. Across goal to Tenace. On for his first run this afternoon. Wants to spot up Gardner, and that's a good kick from a young man. Geelong with numbers in through the middle. Harley still has time. Unsure which way to go. Milburn back edge of the square. And go out wide as Gardner comes inboard, finds Graham, already has a goal. Plenty of space in the Cats forward line. Ben Graham wastes no time. Up in the direction of Steve Johnson. Got the one hand to it, but Dowdy in there for support. Gives it over to Bassett, and John Cox away.
From half-back, we have seen him play up forward also, Chris, haven't we, and being very dangerous. Prosciutto comes away with the ball to the centre-half forward. That's a great kick. Just speared the ball into Ian Perry. He's at centre-half forward. He's got Jericho on the lead, who's super quick. And they bring him off the bench, and he does it every week.
He certainly does. I know you love him, KB, but you're right, he is super quick off the mark. Fancies himself, I think, as a 100-metre runner. Ran in the Bay Chef here, so the kid's got some talent off the mark. And he is a beautiful kick at goal. Just presents himself well, developing his craft up forward. Got a point of difference, and he doesn't often miss.
This to put the Crows back in front by 3 points, Jericho.
I said he doesn't often miss. I didn't say he doesn't always get them.
Ian Perry, Chris, interesting, I think, with Wayne Carey whilst he was playing, perhaps stifled his development. He's got a great opportunity now to really stamp himself as the Crows centre forward.
Yeah, no doubt, and he's just a worker. He laps it up. I mean, he'll just run and present all day, and if you do that, especially the way centre-half backs play now, and a lot of them do zone off like Joel Bowden did last week, you get enough of the footy to have an influence on a game.
Just under 2 minutes left in this first term. Wasted some opportunities, the Crows, in this first quarter.
Let them off the hook a little
some
bit,
shots.
KB, haven't they? 10 shots a goal. It probably should have been 7-3, not 3-7. That can come back to bite.
And throwing the one also from McLeod. So a couple of chances have been missed. The Cats lead 27-25. Just trying to slow the game down. Sanderson goes wide, looking for Milburn. Too much carrying the ball and a boundary throw in. There's Mattner on screen. You like Mattner because you reckon he's tough.
Yeah, look, he's a tackler. He just, if he plays the right role, they've tried to play him as an attacking wingman. I don't think that's where he does his best work. He's a half-back flanker, a tight checker and a gator, and has a penetrating leg.
Bigland's a bit too strong that time for Mooney. Here's Mooney at ground level to the half-forward line, looking for Johnson, who has been a real live one. He's been the go-to man. He's a danger. High ball. Coming out was Kent Kingsley. Couldn't take it. Ablett has booted two in this first quarter. Tried to lay it off. Taken away by Prosciutto. And wobbles the kick back. And building the wall is Mooney. The Cats can work the ball through Riccardi again. Here's the impact player that comes off for the Cats. He's a bit like Jericho. Kingsley wants the mark. They'll get a ball up inside 50. 4-3-27 Geelong, Adelaide 3-7-25. Lings had it 9 times, 8 to Milburn, 8 to Harley and 7 to Koularitis and Johnson. And for the Crows, Goodwin is their leading possession win along with Prosciutto with 7 possessions. Ablett at the bottom of that pack, Bock over the top. And a little bit of an altercation here with John Cock and Ablett and Chapman. We can get very angry.
That'd be a good blue, that one, I reckon. That'd be worth watching. But it's good. I mean, you know the Crows are on song when they're tackling hard. They've got that little bit of aggro about them. They've certainly come to play, and Neil Craig has certainly turned them around in the space of the last 6 weeks.
Good signs there with Brent Riley warming up. Mark Asen will keep tabs on that. There was McLeod. It was a look-away handball to the Birdman. Burton comes away and just powers the ball back towards centre wing. Here's Milburn, big and strong. He was being held. He was still good enough against Henschel to get the fist away. As the time clock ticks away at the end of the first term. 30 marks in the quarter to Geelong, so definitely shared the ball around to the Crows 14. But 3-7-25, the Cats have a 2-point lead at quarter time, 4-3-27. And that young man, Gary Ablett, has again bounced out of the blocks. There he is on screen. He is a young superstar. Already he's kicked a couple of goals. He's had the 5 possessions. But here's the danger man. But at quarter time, it's the Cats leading by 2 points, 27 plays 25.
He's totally, completely, the one and only, the network premiere that's seriously massive. Jet Li is the one. 8:30 Monday on 10.
First I take a soft tortilla, then I lay down the Swiss cheese, tomato, olives. If you want, I can make you a carb-conscious turkey and bacon, turkey and ham, or a chicken and bacon ranch wrap. Come on in, I'll wrap one up for you. I'm Hayley Vink, Subway wrap artist.
Fact, new Camry models are on the way, and Toyota dealers are running out current Camry 2.4 from just $27,488 drive away. Toyota's all out August. Genuine savings. Fact.
It's not just the advanced technology or world-class blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Mach 3 Turbo, the closest, most comfortable shave. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette.
Take me to the water. Take me to the water.
We all know how reviving, rejuvenating and cleansing it is to go down to the sea. Why not do the same for your car's engine? With Shell Helix, the active cleansing motor oil.
Is this working? Am I on yet? There's no sound.
Really always ready for action. IXO, the world's first cordless screwdriver with lithium-ion technology. From Bosch.
To celebrate the first and second place small cars in Australia's Best Car Awards, the Hyundai Getz and Accent now come with $1,000 free fuel. We win, you win. See a Hyundai dealer today.
First I take a soft tortilla, then I lay down the Swiss cheese, tomato, olives. If you want, I can make you a carb-conscious turkey and bacon, turkey and ham, or a chicken and bacon ranch wrap. Come on in, I'll wrap one up for you. I'm Hayley Vink, Subway wrap artist.
Think last week was big? Don't miss Tuesday.
Kids are going to love this one.
Megastar Matt Damon. The Finn brothers perform live. And Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon.
This is better than any American talk show.
Rove Live, 9:30 Tuesday on 10. Channel 10 Adelaide appreciates the support of local sponsors of this AFL coverage. Stratco, for all your hardware and home improvement needs. Trust RAA Insurance to look after your possessions. Truscott Hi-Fi. Best advice, low price. And Booze Brothers, proudly South Australian owned.
Yes, welcome back to Amy Stadium, and of course a very big first quarter again. Geelong winning a first quarter. That's their 15th first quarter of the year, 4-3-27 over the Adelaide Crows, 3-7-25. And you see G. Ablett there as the danger man up forward with those 2 goals coming in. Of course, Ben Graham at centre-half forward. Well, Brent Riley, there he is at quarter time. This young man who's been such an important player for him in the second half of this season. Went off very early in that first quarter. Looks like he's trying to see if that ankle is good enough to come back on. Mark Aston, of course, is down the boundary line with Peter Curran.
Peter, what did you make of that first quarter?
Well, I felt our endeavour was terrific. We've probably made a couple of observations. Our half forwards might be coming up a little bit too far. Their half backs are dropping back, but they're the #1 ranked kicking team in the league over the last 7 or 8 weeks, and we've managed to be able to get a score from virtually every one of their kicking. So that's been a real positive for us. We've just got to maintain that kind of pressure.
And a couple of, I guess, a couple of wasted opportunities in front of goal for you.
Yeah, look, this game gets very tight. You've got to be able to make sure that you make the most of your opportunities. But we've got the momentum. You just got to keep at it, keep at it. It'll turn if we keep at it.
And just quickly, Ian Perry's playing with some confidence.
Yeah, look, I think the whole side's been able to contribute something in this quarter.
Thanks, Pete. Good luck.
Okay.
Peter Curran there, and of course there's another game in action today. It's Carlton versus Melbourne, and of course if you don't want to know the score, look away now. I think it was a fair point, Chris McDermott. It was a very good quarter for Adelaide, coming off that last quarter against the Tigers last week. If they had have kicked straight, they missed a couple of opportunities. They should have been in front.
Yeah, full of confidence. The Crows let Geelong off the hook, need to make the most of their opportunities inside 50.
Risciuto couldn't take the ball, swooping on it. Koulouridis, penetrating kick towards the top of the square, over the top of McCarthy and Bassett. First score for the quarter, 1 behind. Cats extend their lead, 3 behind.
Chris, what's the thought of John Cock playing in defence as apart from being a forward where, you know, in a couple of those showdown games, he even won the medal?
Yeah, hadn't had the best of years up forward the first half of the year, KB. Went back and played extremely well. He looks like a real natural defender, attacks the ball hard, and just a bit of flexibility for the kid and letting him settle down in the back half.
Well, the Crows had transferred the ball without a Geelong player touching it until Tom Harley chipped in to take the mark. It's back in the direction of King to make him work. Up to the task. There's a loose player further up the ground. Getting back, doing well, Brett Burton. For the cheers of the crowd, outer side of the wing. Did well to close down there. Eyes for the ball. That's a job well done. Throw in. Forward of the wing position for the Crows. They trail by 3 points. Clark in the direction of Edwards. Set upon. Was he taken high? No. Stengline has support in Burton, the Birdman. 65 from home, goes long. Biglands gets to the front position. Good spoil though by Sanderson. Out of bounds, right forward pocket. Adelaide attacking.
Much better from Brett Burton, been in good form too since he's come back from injury. Again, another Crows player who's missed a lot of football, but just doing the discipline thing, hitting the ball to the head of the square. The Crows are very good from this position around goals. A lot of scoring opportunities from boundary throw-ins near goals.
Some good signs then too, because McLeod really hit that pack hard. Here's Biglands doing the roving, right to the square. Henschel off hands and through for a behind. Just the fact that McLeod was running hard with the fly of the ball, I mean, that's the sort of thing we've seen in the past when he's just been on song.
Look, absolutely, and they played him in a sweeping role for a little bit under Neil Craig and take him out of the play. Last 2 weeks he's been up forward, involved in the play, getting much more around the contested footy, and he looks a different player. Peter Curran at quarter time indicated this is an area that the Crows have been working on Geelong's kickoffs.
Well, they've got to get it right because Tyson Edwards can kick a goal straight through the centre. And it worked again.
Stratco's new big shed at St Agnes is now open, and we're celebrating with big savings at all Stratco home improvement stores. Bloke Shed Pack, only $299. Stratco Colour Garden Sheds from a low $430. Plasterboard from just $13.95 a sheet. And Seconds Pro Deck Roofing, great value, $12.75 a metre. Stratco's big shed at St Agnes, now open. What you need today?
No wonder they give coaches psychological tests before they take on the job. That's just to convince everyone they're not mad before they take on the job, but you certainly go mad once you're in the job. King in the ruck, beaten by Clark. Ooh, here's Risciuto. King tried to toe poke it out of the air, back towards centre half forward. Was punched away that time by Harley, pounced on by Risciuto. Riccardi gives it across the sands and heads for the line. Good defensive play, the consummate defender. And the ball is over for a boundary throw-in.
The Geelong bench, Hunt, Tenace, Mooney and Kingsley. Such has been the pressure. Josh Hunt is a terrific kick from full back when there's a point kicked by the opposition. They've done so well. They've seen their predominant player that returns the ball back into play for Geelong sit on the bench for this second quarter.
And, of course, Milburn, with that first kick in, resulted in a goal to Tyson Edwards. So confidence high for the Crows. You'd hear Peter Curran. Certainly at quarter time, they were very happy as Stevens comes away, finds Edwards. He's a fantastic player.
Well,
Tyson
he is,
Edwards.
and they've certainly got Geelong off the boil at the moment, and they just need to make him pay. If you're a Crows supporter, this is the time in a game of footy where you've got to hurt the opposition on the scoreboard. Crows have let him off the hook on a few occasions.
And he's given 50. Now, I thought the Birdman was foxing against Wazinski. There may have been a shove. Let's have a look at this. Now, he takes the mark. Now, let's just see if this is a great piece of acting.
He has milked that for everything it's worth, KB.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
And there is 50 metres.
You've got to be kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty certain that, look, it wasn't a Golden Globe, it was an Academy Award, that. And Burton will pop it through. And the Crows are in front.
Pop into Truscott Hi-Fi during August, because it's home entertainment month. Sony 106cm plasmas with digital decoder, $700 off. LG 34cm TVs with inbuilt VCR, only $299. Panasonic 86cm widescreen TVs, $500 off. And LG 330-watt home theatre packs with DVD and VCR, $100 off. Get in and grab a saving at Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
So the Crows out to the biggest lead by either side. 10 points is the margin. They went goal for goal in the first quarter. Adelaide have opened up this second quarter with 2 consecutive. First time this afternoon.
We'll talk about momentum in games of footy. It's all with the Crows at the moment. It is time to put the score on the board.
Clark wins another tap out, sharking at McLeod. That's a sight for sore eyes for the Adelaide faithful. Burton getting himself involved. Follows it up. Leads in a foot race. Harley, can he keep it in? No, out of bounds. Geelong player holding his arm, it looks like David Wojcinski, centre of the ground. Trainers sprint out to his aid.
He put his arm up too and called for the trainers to come. Looks like he may have broken that right arm. It doesn't. He looks in a lot of pain.
Whistle blown, free kick to Adelaide. Against Stephen King. Matthew Clark, the recipient.
Well, Mark Asen will keep us up to speed with David Wojcinski because such an important player as Hunt comes onto the ground.
Bigler's to fly! Well, he didn't really fly. He stayed on the ground, but nonetheless took a good, strong mark.
Well, again, that will make Neil Craig happy, persevering with it a lot more than he did last week against Richmond. Rhett Biglands with his 3rd or 4th opportunity at goal. Kicked 2 points, missed it a couple of others. Certainly providing a target for the Crows, but these are must-kick goals, KB. I know we've said it before.
This for the Crows, 3rd of the quarter, gets it. And Adelaide out to a 16-point mark.
Don't miss this one. Harvey Norman's huge interest-free sale. 4 days only. 4 years interest-free for you. Now's the time to buy electrical, furniture, computers and much more on 4 years interest-free terms. TVs, DVDs, fridges, plasma screens. 4 years interest-free. Lounges, dining, bedding and bedroom furniture. 4 years interest-free. Computers, printers, digital cameras, games, mobile phones. 4 years interest-free. But be quick. 4 days only. 4 years interest-free. Conditions apply. See store for details. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Some worrying signs for the Cats. They trail 6-8-44 by 16 points. Geelong 4-4-28 and Wazinski's off. Let's hope that doesn't look as bad as what it was when he went from the field. Here's Riccardi on the burst. Bangs the ball back towards the goal square. Out in front is McCarthy. Feeds the ball off, looking for Johnson. Trying to get around Bassett. It's a tough ask. Kicks a high ball back. Looking for Chapman off hands. Lurking at ground level is Ablett. Here's John Cock. He's got the job playing on Ablett. Cool under pressure, gets the ball back. Trying to find Scott Stevens. And Bock has run over the line, much to his disgust. Some great signs. 3 goals at the start of this second term for the Crows. Whatever Neil Craig said, bottle it. Boundary throw in on 50. Clark. Really beaten at those duels. Tied up in the tackle is Doughty. this the best you've seen the Crows play today, Chris, for a long, long time? I know they beat the Tigers last week, but that was a struggle.
And you've got quality opposition.
Yep.
I mean, you're not talking about apples when you're comparing Geelong and Richmond, but against class and quality opposition, they just look so good. They're fresh. I thought they probably would be. They got through a game of AFL footy last week without too many bruises, full of confidence. Geelong, on the other hand, had a brutal game against Freo, and the Crows taking advantage, maybe not on the scoreboard, but certainly in general play. But playing and developing nicely.
There's Adelaide, just pushed off his opponent, always got awareness to Riccardi. Couple of touches since coming off the bench. Wanted to centre that ball. He's looking for McCarthy getting back. It was Matner, just somehow lost it in the sun. Chapman, quick snap, around the corner. That's Koularitis, and he's kicked a goal.
Pop into Truscott Hi-Fi during August, because it's home entertainment month. Sony 106cm plasmas with digital decoder, $700 off. LG 34cm TVs with inbuilt VCR, only $299. Panasonic 86cm widescreen TVs, $500 off. And LG 330-watt home theatre packs with DVD and VCR, $100 off. Get in and grab a saving at Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
There was the vision of Wojcinski. Mark Aisen will certainly find out, and let's keep our fingers crossed for that young man.
Ball still in the middle, plenty of players milling around. We see that replay once again.
Now, he hurt himself with Shirley, wasn't it? It looked like he was tackling Shirley and went to ground. Now, he half tripped and fell, but somehow maybe he had his arm just in the wrong position as he went to ground.
Maybe I think it might have happened in the tackle, because I think it was his right arm that got hurt. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see it, but I'm sure it was his right arm that was hurt. That appeared to be the arm that he tackled with, so maybe he might have hit...
well, there's a good sign.
Look too bad, does it?
Mark Aisen will have a report for us very shortly, because that's a good sign, because we thought maybe he might have been on his way to hospital.
Corey quickly out of the bounce, heading towards the boundary line. Gardner can't keep it in. Another throw in. That's a good sign. Now, I don't know so much about the ice on the arm. It's always an indication that perhaps it's obviously to keep the swelling down, but we may not see David Wojcinski back in this match this afternoon.
But I would think if it was broken, he'd be in a lot more pain than sitting there with ice on his arm.
No argument fair, KB. Adelaide work it out through handball. The kick goes inside 50. No Adelaide player back there at the moment. Milburn's got some time and space. Closing Biglan's. His direct opponent, Mooney, has now moved on to him. Finds Steve Johnson. Comes back inboard, sets Ling a good task, and he's up to it. That's a good, strong mark. What support from his skipper in Stephen King. Not to waste any time. Heads out in the direction of Harley, who's pushed up from full back. Edwards in pursuit. They need to be good here in the direction of Graham. Chips the kick, takes the mark. Not without his chances, Ben Graham, 60 from home. Will he let go? He does, to the top of the square. McCarthy getting back, running with the flight of the ball. That's a terrific mark. Graham Johncock, and the Crows are away, this time through Burton, has a bounce.
And he's been very good, the Birdman. Just time for some think music, then hugs the boundary line. He's looking for Perry. It was a diving attempt.
Got the free, KB.
Free kick. Ian Perry playing at centre-half forward. He's the focal man. And there's Henschel. No doubt he's going to be the key to the Crows for many years. And Biglan's, the big flyer, grabbing the mark is Tom Harley. So this great defence of Geelong under some pressure now. It's been the key all year, and there's Ling's down. And he's out cold. And a chance now taken away from Biglan's. Long shot at goal is off target and through from behind. Well, he's tough. Cameron Ling just gives the eyes a bit of a blink and just runs straight bang. Caught it high from Scotty Welsh. And the lights went out.
And Scotty Welsh does do it. Did it last week against Richmond. Nearly paid the price. Kept his arms down, though, a football collision, and made Cameron Ling pay a price.
Josh Hunt comes away from half back. He was looking for Corey. Couldn't find him. Crossed back in.
As you said, KB, one tough nut. And shook it off and gets on with it.
Crows by 11 points. 6-9-45. The Cats 5-4-34. Clark, those beautiful hands down to Goodwin. That's a problem. Deep to the goal square. Stand his ground is Red Biglan. It's a good move because not many is going to outmark. And here's Rashudo. The Raging Bull kicks a goal.
At Radio Rentals, you can pick up what you want and pay no interest until 2008. That's a huge 4 years interest-free on widescreen plasma and LCD TVs. Score a massive 4 years interest-free on watches. That's no interest to pay until 2008 on fridges. And get 4 years interest-free on computers. Time's running out to get a record-breaking 4 years interest-free at SA's biggest electrical retailer. Now that's big.
So the man they call Roo extends the margin out to 17 points. A wonderful afternoon. Crowd basking in the sun. A good one. Beautiful tap down from Clark. They go inside 50. Perry worked his way to the front, swooping on the loose ball. McLeod, this will bring them to the light. But again, just not getting that penetration on the kick. For the second time in this match, Matthew Scarlett chips in.
Must have fumbled it over the line by the looks.
Good call.
And as you said with Andrew McLeod, I think it's probably the third time now he's kicked at goal, had it intercepted this occasion on his left foot, and just lacking some confidence when he's kicking the ball.
Scarlett. It's a kick from Milburn. Deep in defence. Ling recovered from that bump from Scott Welsh. Cats will certainly need him to get plenty of the football this afternoon. They just look a little bit off at the moment, Chris, though, the Cats. They're stationary, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, your point's right. Just no run, is there? No run from half-back. Been their strength.
With this man there on screen, as well as his skipper, can provide some spark. King gets it from Ablett in the direction of Graham. He'll fly. Second in line. Rutten sees the ball out of bounds for a throw-in.
Crows defence holding up very well. Graham Johncock's had a great game on Chapman. Yet to touch the footy, Paul Chapman. 40-odd minutes gone. 15 minutes into the second quarter. Not one stat. A great game from Graham Johncock.
Unkind bounce for both ruckmen, but that man on screen just on cue. Johncock gets another kick towards Perry. Stands his ground. Gets a hand to it. He's outnumbered 2-1. Umpire allows play to go. Harley measures the kick down the line towards Chapman. Does it stay in? Yes, it does. Slenderest of margins, and we'll have a throw-in.
Such an important player, Chapman, too. He's booted 32 goals for the season. 52 plays, 34. The Crows by 18 points. Clark with strength. Tyson Edwards falls on top. And there's a ball up on the half-forward flank for the Cats. The Crows, to me, seem to be kicking the ball a lot longer. They're more direct today.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think Neil Craig has done that. He's been able to tweak their game plan a fraction. Not much you can do mid-season, but he's tweaked it. Certainly got him playing through Ian Perry a lot straighter, a lot longer, and is certainly paying off.
Koularitis, kick across the face. Here's a chance for Hunt. Here's a thumping kick. Stands on 50. A big bomb, leaves nothing behind and kicks a goal.
Coming up shortly in 10 News, Rockhampton bank teller Anna Mears snares Australia's latest gold medal along with the world record in the cycling 500-metre time trials. Federal opposition leader Mark Latham goes home after his health scare, hoping to resume work next week. And rock star Courtney Love in court again, this time denying charges of assaulting another woman with a bottle. Join me for those details, plenty more. 10 News is next.
Josh Hunt, the desired result for his side. His first for the afternoon, taking his season tally, got 3 goals too. And importantly, the Cats get their second for the quarter. The margin back to 12 points. King has to wait. Then a fresh air swing. Oh, that's the second time. Ling, high up and under kick. Courage needed here. Chapman has to do the spoiling. Good tackle Johnson. Will have a bounce. Edge of the square as we cross down to Mark Aston on the boundary line.
Yeah, good news for David Wojcinski and his family and all his friends. No fracture, according to the club. They are keeping most of the detail pretty close to their chest, but no fracture for David's arm.
Chapman with the tap out. Crows with the numbers. Laddams heads towards the outer side of the ground. Burton got an unkind bounce. McCarthy, the benefit to Scarlett, who's pushed up from defence. Spots up and kick. Steve Johnson all alone. This for the Cats. Second consecutive goal. Will it make the distance? No problems there. Accuracy was the concern. one behind, and that's a let-off for the Crows, Chris.
Yeah, it certainly is, but you've got to get the feeling the game's just swung a fraction in Geelong's favour, and we've been singing the praise of the Crows most of this game. Again, they've missed some opportunities. Geelong having a moment, and the Crows just need to get it back, just need to get a little bit hungrier, but Geelong have an opportunity here.
3 behinds to Steve Johnson. He's had 5 marks, but he's wasted a couple of opportunities. Goodwin from half-back. The target was centre-half forward, and Scarlett read it well. Finds Ling. Keen to set it up. Keen to be the playmaker. Finds McCarthy. Too far out to score. Feeds it off to Kularitis, who kicks a long ball. Again, shielding his son out of the eyes that time with Ben Graham, and Tyson Edwards pounces on the ball, brings the ball away. This is a good kick because it's going to enable Welsh to run onto the ball. Chance for Perry, but the dynamic duo, it's Harley and Scarlett combining, and they'll set it up short. Taken away by Johnson, David Johnson, to the edge of the centre square. Kane Tenace started on the bench. Penetrating kick, kicked the goal, his first kick in AFL football, and what a kick! Quick through the air, and finds Kent Kingsley.
Oh, that was just a beautiful leg from Kane Tenace. Stayed low to the ground, hit Kingsley 50 metres away, and as we said, Geelong having a moment. Haven't seen much of Kent Kingsley so far in this game. Just his first kick, but a big kick.
Well, he's kicked 41 goals for the season.
You don't get too many cheapies on Nathan Bassett. He doesn't give too much away. Enjoying some freedom now, not playing centre-half back or full-back on maybe the second string forward. Playing well, but Kingsley with an opportunity to bring Geelong a fraction closer.
A confidence player with his kicking too, Kent Kingsley. If he starts off well, he'll kick straight, and if he misses like that, he often doesn't get it back on track.
Well, probably squaring the ledger too. I mean, the Crows have missed some opportunities in front of goal. Geelong doing the same as well. Both teams having moments, opportunities to maybe stretch the lead. Geelong on that occasion to get a little bit closer. Kent Kingsley, not good enough on that occasion.
Just over 7.5 minutes left in this second term. It's the Crows by 10 points. Thump back. That's good play. Just couldn't bend down that time. Was Kingsley overrunning the ball as well. Was Rutten taken away by Stevens. Finds Goodwin. They'll share the ball around. Goodwin runs hard. Took it from Stengline, and then again that man. Across half back is Scarlett. Was that a look-away kick? It was a fantastic kick. Finds Cameron Ling.
That's the backhand sweep, isn't it?
Ling took a very heavy bump from Scott Welsh, and here's Hunt. Stands and delivers this time from 70 metres out, right to the line. And bumping over the top is Bassett, forces it through for behind. What a kick.
Beautiful kick again from Josh Hunt, and Geelong certainly in control of this game now. Momentum has swung. Crows, the run for them has dried up. Mark Rashudo inside 50, away from the footy, and maybe the captain just needs to get 5 minutes on the ball.
John Cock finds Bassett, moves it on quickly. Burton, red alert, the Cats have gone inside 50 8 times. They've just got to convert a couple more times, put the pressure back on the Crows. Edwards steers the kick in the direction of Mark Rashudo.
Oh, Tyson Stengline on his own.
All alone inside 50, caught it right, Chris. Somehow he's got free. And this could hurt going into half-time. 6.5 minutes remaining.
Might be his second last game for the Crows. Didn't you suggest that they want him back in Perth?
You got me in enough trouble as it is. You don't need to get me in any more, but I think he might be homeward bound, as they say. Such a great player, again, having an influence on this game of footy today, working hard both ways. Tyson Stengline, 25 career goals, and normally a fairly accurate kick.
6 goals, 7 for the season. This for number 7. Gets close to the man on the mark. Well, the crowd behind the goals tell the story. One behind to Tyson Stengline as we see that Matthew Scarlett trick bag come out. We know you're in good form when you're able to do that and you're the full back.
Let's hit Cameron Ling on the chest.
It just takes a different human to even try it, KB.
One with curly hair.
Hunt, that's a terrific kick. Finds Chapman. He's been relatively quiet with first touch of the afternoon. That's a good one. Finds McCarthy on the lead.
Look, I'm glad Mark Thompson's left him on the field, because he's kicked 32 goals for the season, and he is one of those players who can kick you a couple of quick goals. I know he's had a bad first half, but he can kick goals.
Great face from the coach.
Tenace, the dasher, but that's a poor kick, lets himself down. Ian Perry chops in for the mark and releases Bassett. A hit out in the direction of Goodwin. Kick won't make him. Reading it better, Darren Milburn to Scarlett. Wants the ball at every opportunity. Heads in the direction of Kingsley. He's got to stand his ground. Closing there was Doughty. Did well. Has supporting Clark. Tight on the boundary. Prosciutto in short. Had plenty of time to think about it and spots up Ian Perry. Couldn't take it on the second attempt, but got a good bounce. Heads up the outer side of the ground. Wing position in the direction of Henschel. Sets him a task. Ball doesn't stay in. We'll have a throw in. 75 from goal. Adelaide leading by 10 points as we work our way down to half-time with Bretton Sanderson about to make his way back onto the ground.
They're just getting let down by their foot skills at the moment, the Crows, both in front of goal and around the ground, not hitting their targets. Geelong forcing them to turn over, just not capitalising on the scoreboard.
Gee, Doughty was fantastic the way he closed to Ken Kingsley, because it looked like certainly Matthew Clark was out of position. Kularitis just trying to find a permanent spot in this Cat side. Here's Chapman, possession number 2. Penetrating kick, goes wide, looking for Kingsley. Got 2 to beat, that's tough. Doughty, the man in question again, back to Johncock, across half back. The loose player's been set up, finds Laddams. Keen to get onto the left boot. Can't get around Kularitis. That was pretty good effort. In the end, good enough to get the kick away and finds Goodwin. Oh, who ran inside. It was just, I tell you what, it could have been a bit contentious whether or not he actually played inside the bounds line before he came back. But Scott Welsh has got it. And he'll be shooting from 45 out.
I'm perplexed. He's gone off the line. Yep. That's got to be playing, which is out of bounds.
He's played on 3 times outside of the line. The boundary umpire just giving him the benefit of the grave doubt.
Well, it wouldn't be the boundary umpire. It would be the field umpire would have to call him off the line. And then he'd have to indicate, throw the ball back into play. But looked like he moved inside before coming out. Here's Scott Welsh, 45 metres out. Trying to bend it back. He's pushed it right and through for a behind.
Call that justice? Absolutely. Not in Adelaide, I wouldn't.
See that now? He's gone to play on, and he's played on inside the boundary line, and then he stopped and he's come back out. Here's a chance from another kick-in. Error from the Cats. Burton trying to get around Tenace. That's hard because he's a schoolboy sprint champion. So he backtracks, concedes ground, retreats, gives it across to Perry. Good vision, goes wide, finds Doughty, wants to set it up. Edge of the centre square, into the pocket. Chance for Tyson Edwards. In front, Henschel. This kid can really mark and play. He's got class stamped on him.
Certainly has. Had some injury worries too in his younger days. Getting a full season of football under his belt this year, bar a couple. And he does mark beautifully, KB. Keeps his eyes on the ball. Just does everything right. Needs the body to develop a fraction. But when it does, he's going to be a key player, and 4 goals last week suggests it's not too far around the corner for Trent Henschel.
And Tyson Edwards did well. I thought he was going to try and mark it himself, but he only half went for the mark to block the Geelong defender.
For Trent Henschel.
And Tyson Edwards did well. I thought he was going to try and mark it himself, but he only half went for the mark to block the Geelong defender. So Henschel. Exact position that Scotty Welsh just pushed it right. Did he learn? Doesn't look like it. Way right, and has just snuck it in for a behind.
Been a pretty tough ground to kick goals on this year, Amy Stadium. We've seen a lot of points kicked here, both in good conditions and poor. But again today, both teams at fault. Plenty of opportunities in front of goals and missing kickable goals. Josh Hunt again with the kicking off responsibilities, turned 3 over and paid the price on a couple of occasions.
Both sides having plenty of trouble in front of goal. 5 consecutive points have been kicked in the last few minutes. 3 to the Crows and 2 to Geelong. They're starting to queue up now though, the Crows. Plenty of run. And they're a side that's certainly playing like they're going into the finals, not the Cats, and that's a good strong mark to Perry. Like his game, Chris, really starting to get some freedom up there. Looks as though he's enjoying his football, which is very important.
Yeah, look, and he certainly wasn't at the start of this year. Had the weight of the world on his shoulders pretty well for the first half of the year. Wayne Carey leaves, he gets some freedom and gets some opportunities at centre-half forward. A Crows player goes down behind, plays Scotty Welsh, it is, on his haunches. Might have just got one for his trouble. And he's a confident bloke now, Ian Perry, a totally different human, and we've seen him kick a tough goal today already, and when his confidence is up, he kicks goals like this.
This it hurt. Minute and a half remaining in the second quarter. Tight angle, Ian Perry. Has he learnt? Third time lucky. Don't worry about that. Ian Perry shows him how to do it on the wrong side for a left footer.
Easy as that for Ian Perry. Full of confidence at the moment, how the wheel can turn. And again, some class from Trent Henschel. Before in the air, this time with some agility and some deception. The Crows hitting some targets, and Ian Perry with kicking the impossible goal. The new grandstand here at AAMI Stadium providing him with some shelter. A beautiful kick, and the story for Ian Perry goes on, and he deserves to have a smile on his face. It's been a tough year, but finally getting some reward for some hard work.
Just under a minute and a half left in this entertaining first half. Adelaide 24 times inside 50, Geelong also 24, so you can see as far as getting inside 50, but the Crows have just been better finishers after missing some opportunities in that first half. 8:13:61 plays, 6:7:43 on the stretch. That time was Matner. He was looking for the free kick as well. It's been forced over the line. Here's Matner.
Tyson Stengline, KB.
Stengline, sorry, correction.
Hate to correct you, but
yes.
Not happy, and, well, maybe justifiably so, but you should have held them up.
Wanted the free kick as well. Chance for McLeod. He's hit the pack hard a couple of times today, just hasn't quite got the run of the ball. There's a strong tackle.
Neil Craig will love that. He said last week in his press conference that Andrew McLeod is playing a role for him at Adelaide. It includes some defensive responsibility, and that occasion a hard, strong tackle, making Cameron Ling pay a price.
McLeod to Risciuto. Puts the ball over the line. So it's a throw-in 55 metres out from goal. McLeod on screen. Just half a minute left in this first half. It's been a tremendous first half by the Crows. Ling shares the ball around to Koularitis. Just needs some runners. Tanase has got pace. Rockets the ball to Sanderson. Comes away from half-back to centre-half forward. Looking for Riccardi. Had him in his sights. Ablett is going to chase hard against Bassett. Gets plenty of support from John Cock. Short to Perry. Got an ugly bounce. Harley got a beauty. Kicks the ball back towards centre-half forward. And reading it well that time was Bock, who came out in front. And a great first half by the Adelaide Crows. 8:13:61 to 8:7:43. They lead by 18 points. They trailed by 2 points at quarter time. They lead by 18 points at the main break. Scene is set for a fantastic second half here at AAMI Stadium. Back with more after the break.
From Fine comes the Multimaster, the machine of unlimited uses right at your fingertips. Sand, saw, cut, file, polish. The Fine Multimaster has a versatile accessory for every application. Use it on wood, plastic, particle board, sheet metal, plaster, even fiberglass. Great for round the home, the car, the boat, or for the professional. Great gift idea for Father's Day from $2.99 with bonus sanding kit. The Fine Multimaster, a must for every workshop or toolkit.
McDonald from Australia now in the 10-metre tower. He'll be trying a 1.5 vertical layout, 3.8 degree of difficulty.
Oh, flawless. Absolutely flawless. Yes, he's happy with that one.
Where's the home for spanners?
Where's the home for spray?
Where's the home
To save this Father's Day.
Where?
Home Hardware. Make Dad's Day at our Father's Day Dog-a-Log sale. This hammer drill and jigsaw pack is just $99. And this toolbox value pack is only $14.95. The Father's Day Dog-a-Log sale.
Where?
Home Hardware.
The Dunlop SP Sport 300E out-corners a conventional tyre. It out-brakes a conventional tyre. It out-handles a conventional tyre. Because of its revolutionary silica compound, the Dunlop SP Sport 300E is anything but conventional. What are your tyres made of?
At Truscott Hi-Fi, good things come in threes. 1. Conker 51cm TV with DVD player, $299. 2. Conker 68cm TV with DVD player, $479. And 3. Conker 80cm TV with DVD player, only $699. Plus, all TVs come with a 5-year warranty. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free term.
He's fallen awkwardly.
Doesn't look too good, Nathan. Let's take your boot off. What are you doing?
Only Coca-Cola goes the distance to get you exclusive AFL prizes like captain's jerseys and footy signed by last year's 3 Brownlow medalists. To enter, just drink code and SMS the last 4 digits of your barcode to 1887624. The Coca-Cola Big Game Hunter promotion.
And welcome back. Next up, McDonald attempting a world record clean and jerk. With his signature move, the chalking up technique. And here we go. Green, green and gold, yeah!
The Frontier Touring Company and Mix 102.3 FM proudly present Rod Stewart Live. It's all Rod, all night in a spectacular concert packed full of hits. With his band and orchestra. From Maggie May to the Great American Songbook, Rod Stewart Live. February 23 at the Entertainment Centre. Tickets on sale Monday.
Good evening. First tonight, she has done it. Jana Pippen has blown away the field in her first Olympic run. The world champion was quick out of the blocks, hurdling with both legs. She showed no sign of the major knee injury she suffered just 2 weeks ago. All eyes will now be on how she recovers from her first race. Jana is now through to the 400-metre hurdles semi-finals. And cyclist Anna Mears has scorched the Athens track, breaking a world record on her way to taking Olympic gold for Australia in the 500 metres time trial.
She's the fastest woman on 2 wheels. A green and gold blur sending the crowd at the Athens Velodrome into top gear.
Mears comes up to the line. The world record is gone.
The girl from Rockhampton powered to a world record and the first gold on the track. An Aussie flag fluttering through the Greek afternoon as Anna Mears soaked up the adulation. And with those tears on the dais...
You know, I was really holding the tears in at Worlds, and this time around I said, oh no, bugger it, let him go.
She did it the hard way, riding last, just after the Chinese cyclist clocked up an Olympic record. But the Queenslander had the perfect answer, the crowd willing her through the final lap.
Half the crowd is from Rocky. It's really bizarre because they've got tickets to other events, and their extra tickets they got was to cycling on this night, and they made up banners for me and wore the green and gold hats and brought the flags in, and great to have the support there.
It was a bittersweet day for the track cyclists. Shane Kelly smashed an Olympic record to grab top spot, only to watch on in frustration as a German, French and Englishman went even faster.
Of course he's disappointed. That's not the result that he wanted. That's not a result we wanted.
But this was Anna's night. A part-time bank teller by day. Tonight, she cashed in. It's a dream start for a team dogged by controversy in recent months. Whether that adversity has brought them closer together will become clearer when the team events get underway later tonight. In Athens, Max Butcher, 10 News.
Geelong walker Nathan Deeks isn't resting after his bronze medal effort. His proud parents are thrilled with Deeks' performance in the 20-kilometre walk, but he's determined to do even better in the 50k event.
Definitely want to come away with 2 medals, and I wanted it to be a gold and a bronze.
But no celebrations for our swimmers. Head coach Lee Nugent singling out veteran backstroker Matt Welsh as the man who cost Australia a spot in tonight's medley relay.
I was disappointed with Matt, and I've left it at that. I think I'll talk to him a bit more objectively tomorrow.
Swimmers were quick to defend their teammates, saying no one person should be blamed. The failure to qualify ends Ian Thorpe's Olympic campaign. A bittersweet win for Olympic beach volleyball champion Natalie Cook. She beat former teammate Kerry Pottharst in an all-Aussie matchup for a place in the quarterfinals.
We've supported each other throughout this, and it's very unfortunate to knock them out. But now, hopefully, she'll be out here to support us, she'll be out to watch, and she'll be just as proud. It'll be a tough time, and I'll get her a cup of tea and a biscuit tonight and give her a hug.
Dipping serve.
Her new teammate Nicole Sanderson says nothing will get in their way as they chase gold. Still to come in 10 News, Rob Kerrin rejects claims the state party's poor standing will affect the federal poll, and Labor leader Mark Latham hoping to resume work next week after his health scare.
From September 1, 10 brings you seriously big drama.
Check these out. Law and Order. SVU. Criminal Intent.
He killed her. He couldn't get a hold of the money.
With the home of event bigness, here's more proof. The huge hit of 2003 is now on 10. Rebecca Gibney, all new Sensing Murder.
The classic ingredient of an Alfred Hitchcock thriller.
Colin Fields in a brand new mystery. Blackjack.
Tasty new Aussie drama is right here on 10. Good friends, good food, good times. The sexy new drama, Cooks.
It captivated audiences and critics in the US. The event that broke viewing records. The 4400.
Seriously big drama just keeps on coming.
It all kicks off this September on 10.
What's the need? Stratco's big new home improvement store at St Agnes is celebrating with sensational opening savings. Come and join in the festivities with heaps of fun for the whole family this weekend. And find the range, service and value you need at Stratco today. Do it right! Wow! You'll get everything you need and more at Stratco's big new home improvement store at St Agnes. What's the need today?
A good race with the favourite in lane 2 out to... Hang on a second. Here comes lane 3 moving swiftly out of nowhere. He is really jumping ahead of the pack. Oh, it's those shoes. They're phenomenal. They act like weapons. Shut the gate. This thing is over. We still have a lap to go.
Get into the AFL action on 10 and enter the Telstra Player of the Year competition. Don't forget to watch tonight's AFL telecast on 10 and tell us who you think will be the highest ranked player of the night. Choose correctly the highest ranked player to win weekly prizes of $1,000 cash or the major prize of a trip for 4 to the AFL Grand Final and $10,000 cash. Remember to watch tonight and SMS your choice to 188 7526 each week and you could win great prizes thanks to Telstra.
And welcome back. Next up, McDonald attempting a world record clean and jerk. With his signature move, the chalking up technique. And here we go. Green, green and gold, yeah!
For the answer to all your home improvement hurdles, you can't beat Bunnings Warehouse. Dustpan and brush, 99 cents. Assorted garden tools, just $7.94. Sensor light, great value at $27.97. 10-litre spring flat plastic, $39. Third sheet sander, a bargain at $9.95. And seagrass doormats, 2 for $3. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Opposition leader Mark Latham is recovering at home after his pancreatitis scare. The Labor leader checked out of Sydney's St Vincent's Hospital this morning, accompanied by his wife, Janine Lacey. Looking fit, Mr Latham waved to waiting media. The only hiccup, a woman trying to sell him hospital raffle tickets as he was driving off.
St Vincent's Hospital. I'm selling tickets to the hospital. St Vincent's Hospital. We need help for a machine. Thank you very much.
Kathy Don says she was disappointed Mr Latham didn't buy anything. A spokesperson says the Labor leader didn't see the woman and would be very happy to make a donation. Liberal leader Rob Kerrin says the flagging popularity of state Liberals in the polls won't affect the chances of John Howard being re-elected. Speaking outside the party's state council meeting, Mr Kerrin said on the contrary, the Rand government's role would impact on marginal seats.
Bring the train
A handful of protesters gave the Prime Minister a noisy welcome on his third straight day on the campaign trail in Adelaide. Once inside, he was preaching to the local party faithful, highlighting a sense of economic optimism in South Australia.
If it hadn't been for the policies of the federal government followed over the past few years, then the prosperity that is being enjoyed here would not be nearly so evident.
But with local Liberals in opposition and the Rand government retaining a healthy lead in the polls, winning the tight seats of Adelaide, High Marsh and Macon will be a tough tussle. Leader Rob Kerrin defending his performance and attacking the state government.
I think that what people here would now be seeing is that all they've had is rhetoric. The Labor Party promised a lot of things they haven't delivered. Basically, they'd be saying, well, is Latham going to do exactly the same?
Mr Kerrin attacked the Rand government's get tough stance on law and order, saying that it hadn't provided the resources for police, courts and the mental health system.
I think it's been all perception. You know, what the government's done is they've gone out and made a lot of noise. They've picked out a couple of high-profile cases so that it makes it sound as if they're doing something.
There are murderers sitting behind bars today that the parole board wanted to release to walk the streets. That is not rhetoric, that is action.
Rick Teague, 10 News.
In the AFL, Port Adelaide have hit back at their critics, declaring they're much better prepared for their finals assault. Last night's 37-point win over Collingwood has the Power a step closer to a third straight minor premiership. But despite the easy win, Magpie coach Mick Malthouse says he saw nothing to suggest Port will improve on previous finals disasters.
He can think what he likes, really, can't he? We obviously we've changed a few things around, and you know, to be on top of the ladder after 21 rounds is credit to the coaching staff and all the guys out there.
Acting captain Warren Treadray overcame a shoulder injury to kick 3 goals and has pulled up well. To netball now, and the Thunderbirds have crashed out of the championship race. Adelaide given a 14-goal thumping by the Melbourne Phoenix in last night's preliminary final. Early errors proving very costly for the Thunderbirds, who struggled to cope with the added pressure of finals. Melbourne goalers Eloise Southby-Halbish and Sherelle McMahon had plenty of opportunities and finished off their teammates' good work. The Phoenix play the Sydney Swifts in next Saturday's grand final. Now for a very quick look at the national weather details, and the synoptic chart is showing a strong high in the east with a cold front sweeping towards Adelaide across the Bight. So tomorrow should be mostly cloudy but dry around the city with a top of 17 degrees after an overnight low of just 10. Finally tonight, you've heard of the running in the bulls, but how about the running of the brides? The Mad Dash takes place every year at an American department store where hundreds of brides-to-be race to grab that bargain wedding dress. Gowns that normally sell for thousands of dollars are offered for just a couple of $100 at the sale. And that's the latest from the 10 newsroom. We'll have more news as it happens, but for now, I'm Natasha Belling. Thanks for your company. Good night.
I reckon anything better than being here is seeing it up close and perfect on a Fujitsu PlasmaVision. Only PlasmaVision has the exclusive AVM chip for the clearest pictures. Get a Fujitsu like I did. It's the world's finest plasma.
It's not just the advanced technology or world-class blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Mach 3 Turbo. The closest, most comfortable shave. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette.
What's this, Ralph? Oh, a new promotion for our 28-point suspension safety check, boss. I mean, for only $14, you get a complete inspection of all steering and suspension components, Petter's drive-on shock absorber test, an obligation-free analysis, and written report. And boss, all this is carried out by Petter's expert technicians.
Petter's, straight advice specialists you understand.
And no bull.
Fact. New Camry models are on the way, and Toyota dealers are running out current Camry V6 from just $29,988 drive away. Toyota's all-out August. Genuine savings. Fact.
Where's the home for spanners?
Where's the home for spray?
Where's the home
So good to save this Father's Day.
Where?
Father's Day Dog-a-Log sale. This hammer drill and jigsaw pack is just $99. And this toolbox value pack is only $14.95. The Father's Day Dog-a-Log sale.
Where?
Home Hardware.
From Walton Media, three dreamers.
Really believe we can succeed?
Yes. Will take you and your family on the world's greatest race.
Around the world in 80 days.
Stop them!
Walton Media invites you to hang on to your dreams.
Hold on!
Meet interesting people.
We're the Wright brothers.
That's nice.
And experience all the fun in the world.
Watch out on the right. No, my right.
Stop helping me!
Walton Media is around the world in 80 days.
Sign up to the new Chic Quattro, the world's only razor with 4 blades and 2 conditioning strips. No other razor shaves closer or smoother than Chic Quattro. Get ready.
Enjoying the game? Well, get ready as the AFL action continues on Widescreen Weekend. If you're still watching the game on a standard television, you're not getting the whole picture. With a widescreen plasma, you not only experience more game, more action, more excitement, but you receive the highest quality digital picture. So for the best advice on widescreen plasmas, talk to the guys at Harvey Norman. Widescreen, the only way to view the game. Channel 10 Adelaide appreciates the support of local sponsors of this AFL coverage. Stratco, for all your hardware and home improvement needs. Trust RAA Insurance to look after your possessions. Truscott Hi-Fi. Best advice, low price. And Booze Brothers, proudly South Australian owned.
Yes, and a very interested onlooker here today is this man coming up, Mark Williams. Now turned author, we believe, with a kid's book coming out. The night Marcus won the flag. There's Philip Walsh sitting next to him, of course, former Collingwood and Richmond player as well. And also up with the Brisbane Bears. Just a slight yawn there. Must be very tiring writing those kids' books.
Must have had a night out celebrating last night. Power away to a nice win at the MCG. But Geelong started this third quarter, made some interesting moves. Mark Thompson at half-time. Benny Graham goes back into defence on Ian Perry. Scarlett and Harley out of full-back. Harley onto Big Len. Scarlett stays on Welsh. So Mark Thompson's made some moves, not happy with Geelong, trying to find a spark. First 5 minutes important.
Showdown next week too. Showdown number what?
16, KB.
Okay, does that include Ramsgate?
Make it 17.
Make it 17. It's the Crows by 18 points. Could this be a real shock to the football world because the Cats have won their last 6 games straight? There's Kingsley. He's got it directly in front. He'll be shooting from 35 metres out.
Well, hardly sighted in the first half. Kent Kingsley had a couple of opportunities, but Nathan Bassett doing the job on him in the first half. Geelong make the moves. Ablett gets an early touch. Rutten goes on to Kingsley, and an early opportunity to kick a goal. Adelaide with 21 scoring shots, only 8 goals in the first half, has left the door ajar for Geelong. A chance to win a game of footy, Geelong, if good enough.
He's kicked 41 goals for the season, just 1 behind in the third quarter. That's a great start.
Discount City Carpets presents the Ultimate Collection. A new style of carpet that is the thickest and most luxurious carpet ever and exclusive to Discount City Carpets. Because the Ultimate Collection of carpet is twice as thick as conventional carpet, no underlay is required. Not only is the Ultimate Collection available in a range of today's fashion colours, it's very affordable. Experience the Ultimate Collection of carpet now at Discount City Carpets, Superstores and Super Warehouse.
And of course, looking after the Adelaide Crows. Was that Mark Bickley there?
Yeah, positioning himself nicely next door to the CEO. So the Cats get the first of the third quarter. Burton read it well off the line. Hunt drops back and takes an easy chest mark. There's players out wide. Polaroidis, supported there by Ling, goes short over the top to King. Gets it back. 80 from home, penetrating kick towards the goal kicker. Kingsley on the burst, couldn't take it. Doing well, Graham Johncock liked his game this afternoon. Heads in the direction of Bott. Stingline couldn't take the mark. Corey to Ling, good tackle Laddams. The whistle's blown. Free kick awarded.
Adams, the recipient.
Only 8 free kicks paid for the match so far. 4 free kicks apiece.
Goes out wide to Nathan Bott. There's plenty of time to look further up the field. Has a bounce. Now heads inside 50 to Perry, being marked by Graham. All over him. Was a free kick paid? No. Burton.
Just gives us a chance to go down to ground level because Mark Asen has a report on David Wodzinski.
I do, KB. Dislocated elbow. The boys at Catland suggest they've popped it back in. They reckon he might be okay for next week. Brent Riley, the ankle injury, keeping him off the ground for the rest of the game.
Optimistic at best, you would think, if he's dislocated his elbow. Available next week, but you'd like to think for the Geelong supporters he would be.
Well, you mentioned before, Fred Astaire reminds you of that great call by Ginger Rogers, Fred's dancing partner. I'm not quite certain whether she liked Fred that much. She said, everyone keeps wrapping up Fred. I do everything backwards, same as he does, only in high heels.
Of course, Wayne and I weren't alive in those days, KB. You can talk about that. I know you're in the same neighbourhood, but...
He mentioned Fred Astaire. I'm just talking about his partner, Ginger.
Stay with us. Shouldn't bring up old girlfriends. Benches for the Crows. Jericho, Matner, Shirley and Riley. Throw in. Goodwin sharking the ball, gets himself into some space. This would be a great reply. Simon Goodwin bends it back. The Crows answer.
What are the chances of a tree falling onto your car at One Tree Hill?
Oh, no.
Yup. Last weekend. And because the tree went through the roof, so did my insurance premiums. So I rang around to compare prices. But these insurance companies, Trev, they're all the same.
Did someone call the RAA?
Not me.
16 possessions, he's taken 3 marks, he's kicked 2 goals, 1. He's the leading possession winner on the ground. Chance for Riccardi, started on the bench, shares the ball around with Sanderson. This vaunted back line of the Cats has been really tested today. They've had some tours down forward. There's a chance for Doughty, comes away with the ball, kicks the space. Looking for Burton, he's got Milburn to beat, hustled over the boundary line for a toss back in. 9-13, 67 the Crows, the Cats 7-7-49.
It was an important answering goal for Adelaide. Geelong out of the blocks quickly in the third quarter, kicked the early goal. The Crows needed a settler and got one.
They trail by 18 points. Corey brought down the tackle by Tyson Edwards, who we highlighted at half-time. And he's given away the free kick. Corey to centre-half forward. Had Johnson in his sights, he's caught one in the back. And Johnson has been dangerous up forward. He's taken 6 marks. Hasn't had his kicking boot on. He's had 3 behinds.
He was very dangerous early, wasn't he? And Scotty Stevens went to him halfway through the second quarter. Quietened him a fraction. Corey gets the free kick. Consecutive free kicks to Geelong. Maybe a little lucky the second one. But again, you take him and a kickable goal.
He was just held up in the tackle. Kent Kingsley pleading for the ball. Ablett in the square.
Too close.
McCarthy also, and he goes for the big torp. It's going to go right to the line. Some good shepherding right on the line as well, that time by Riccardi. Not quite good enough, and touched. There's Johnson, and he's bleeding, so maybe the blood rule will see him off the field. That's 4 behinds to Johnson. John Cock has been good in defence. Risciuto generally works himself into the game after half-time, just keeps on keeping on. Tyson Edwards, this time beaten by Chapman, who had really a poor first half, just the 2 possessions. So let's have a look at this. This is touched right on the line. Here's Riccardi against Risciuto. It was a test of strength. And Risciuto just getting that right fist to it. Thumped on that time by Chapman. Edwards, the tackler, on Ablett. He's hard to bring down. Here's a chance. Kent Kingsley around the corner. And he's missed. And Johnson, is that Johnson pleading with the ball? It's Riccardi. He was in the goal square. But under pressure, Kent Kingsley didn't see him.
Well, dodging a bullet, as Jason Bennett would say, the Crows on that occasion. And Geelong have had their opportunities in front of goal, as have the Crows. Neither team really putting this game beyond doubt.
The Crows coming into this game with a bit of confidence after defeating the Tigers last week by over 50 points. And they've been very competitive, more than competitive against the Cats, who just can't quite match them at the moment. Here's Hunt. Those quick hands, fed the ball off. He was looking for Sanderson across half-back. They just haven't quite had that run today out of defence. Scarlett a little bit late in that second term. Chapman hammers the ball back to the half-forward line. This is a great kick. And Riccardi stands his ground. Always starts on the bench these days, Peter Riccardi. He's had it 5 times.
He's so dangerous, isn't he? Again, another player. He doesn't have to touch it a lot to cause you a headache. And just found himself again, as he did previously, in some space. No Crows player within 10 or 20 metres of him, and an opportunity to get Geelong's second goal for the quarter, inch him a little closer.
Well, he's kicked 256 goals, so he's a goal kicker. And he just fades it through. Now, hang on. What's happened here?
Identifying the player, Johnson's bleeding from the nose.
Okay. It's a goal.
Well, they can do 2 things at once, KB. But a great goal there to Geelong. And Peter Riccardi, as we said, finding himself in some space. You cannot afford to give your direct opponent so much free area. They will hurt you. Graham Johncock, the villain on that occasion, played an extremely good first half, Graham Johncock. But giving Riccardi too much space, and a player of his experience will hurt you every time. Sneaks it in, but an important goal to Geelong. Bring the margin back to 10 points, and it's game on at Amy.
The Cats, maybe this is their quarter. Mounting the challenge, King, only as far as sting line, set upon. They'll have a secondary bounce. They've answered every challenge so far this afternoon, the Crows. They've played some excitable and inspired football. Clark again, another tap. Prosciutto out of the air. Kick partly smothered. Corey gets it going forward. McCarthy has to do the spalling. Ablett stays down. Dangerous from here.
Oh,
good tackle. Great pressure, the Crows, and they're away this time. Johncock has a number of players at his option. Prosciutto one. Burton there for support. Has time. Can have another bounce. Milburn closing. Slips. Prosciutto misses the target. Milburn did well. Went without it. Take us out the football at the moment. Someone needs to be clean. Goodwin gets it back to his skipper, Prosciutto. Wrong side of the body. Heads towards the square. It's a wobbling kick. Welsh in front position. Good spoil, Scarlett. Biglands. Cats with the numbers. Stripped of it. Did well, Harley. Goes backwards. Releases Milburn. Mooney gets it from Scarlett. And go further afield to Ling. Closing Rutten. Ling will have to be good. And he's done that a couple of times this afternoon, Cameron Ling. Corey breaks. Good running from the midfielder. He's got Gardner inboard if he wants him. Goes long towards Kingsley. Bock. Over their head. Whistle blown. Recipient of a free kick, Kingsley. I'd like to see the replay.
Don't like
there.
it, Chris.
No, I think it was probably there. It was a little touchy.
And hanging on to his jumper as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's there in the technical nature of the law. It's there, KB. It didn't have much influence on the passage of play, but it was probably there. And put it beyond doubt, don't you? You just don't do it. And Geelong, the recipient of a couple of free kicks early in this third quarter. Kingsley starting to have an influence. Neil Craig probably with his matchups a little bit wrong. Mark Thompson made the moves at half-time. Neil Craig just taking a little time to respond. And Geelong making the most of their moment in this game.
Gives you a good idea of what he's faced with. Kingsley doesn't even make the distance. Scott Stevens, no Geelong player within 10 yards there, so
that was poor of no Geelong player
Kevin.
getting back on the goal line.
McLeod comes out broadcast side of the ground. Rutten stands his ground, couldn't take the mark. Kellen did well. Burton arches the back, got supporting Goodwin. Heads towards Welsh. Scarlett did well. So did Scott Welsh. Good tackle, Sanderson. Scarlett there to support. The Cats standing up. Pressure mounting. Cameron Ling couldn't keep the ball in and will have a throw in.
Oh, and again, Geelong's defence hanging tough. Matthew Scarlett, fantastic on that occasion. 1, 2, 3 efforts. Scotty Welsh does attack the footy hard. Matthew Scarlett equally as ferocious at the footy.
Just over 12 minutes remaining. The margin 10 points in favour of Adelaide. What can the Crows do, Chris, to make sure that the momentum stays with their side?
Yeah, they just appear to have lost a little bit of run through the midfield too, don't they? And, you know, Mark Rasciuto needs to have an influence. He's been tied up. McLeod's certainly been tied up. Just need their leadership group to break free. But Geelong certainly with momentum.
Chapman gets the handball from Milburn. The Cats have numbers through the middle. Kouloroidis heads towards Kingsley. Bassett did well. Good spoil. Loose ball. Gardner, pressured by Bock, went to ground. No free kick. Play on to the call. Crowd want a free kick.
Well, they want it all the time.
You get used to that over here at Amy Stadium, though, don't you, Chris?
You've got to love passion in footy, and there's plenty of that at Amy Stadium, no doubt.
Clark grabbed it out of the ruck. Has time. Pirouettes. Heads down the line. Coming through was Jericho. Geelong with the numbers. It's backwards to Callan, starting to get some possession. Kick stays in. Crowd don't like that as well. Surprise, surprise. Joel Corey with the mark. 80 from goal. Kingsley on the lead. John Cock in front. Neither player gets a hand to it. The ball goes out of bounds. Right forward pocket for the Cats. They trail the Crows by 10 points.
Kingsley is certainly the target, isn't he?
He certainly is. Simon Goodwin with plenty of the footy. Cameron Ling, Tommy Harley and Kouloroidis as well. But Geelong certainly with their moment in the game at the moment.
So it's a chance for the Cats. It's just 35 metres around from goal. Ablett just overran the ball. Kingsley has been very active in this third term. Going to ground is Clark. Over the top was McLeod, taken by King. Kicks goals under these circumstances. This time he's missed. And through for a behind.
Winning the ball at ground level too, Geelong, aren't they? I thought Crows were probably dominant in that area in the first half. Geelong certainly a bit better at ground level. The Crows on ball as Edwards a little bit quiet. Rasciuto, McLeod need to have an influence now on this game of footy. Although Geelong not making the most of their scoring opportunities.
John Cock goes wide, finds Doughty. They've dragged it back, the Cats, to a 9-point ball game. 8-10-58. They trail the Crows. 9-13-67 as Doughty kicks long, looking for Clark. It was clever tap on. Overrunning the ball. Ling cleans up. Back to Mooney. The Cats have looked a lot sharper in this third term. It was a look-away handball, that time by Ablett. Riccardi wasn't ready for it. Going to ground is Rutten under pressure, taken by Kouloroidis. Does the hippy shake, goes to open space, looks for Johnson, needs a kind bounce, goes bang, crashes into Bassett. Tried to kick it laying on his back. Kingsley over the top, he might be pinged. Yeah, he's gone. Once you fall on the ball and drag it in, you've got no chance. So Johnson and Kingsley, loose ball. And Kingsley goes to ground. Callan played against his father Terry. He'd be thrilled to see him. Playing with the Cats as Henschel around the corner of the half-forward line, looking for Perry out. In front, here's Scarlett. Thought he had it and lost it. Mooney backs up. So the hard-working Geelong defence is a bad move. Birdman couldn't take it. Rasciuto can. Feeds it off. Two champs combined. McLeod hammers the ball in. Here comes Welsh. Couldn't quite take it. Great on the rebound, bounces to his feet like the Indian rubber man. Back here to that was a wonderful kick. That came from the Birdman. He saw him out of the corner of his eye, and Laddams, all alone by himself, will now shoot from 45 metres out.
Great work from Brett Burton. He's turned the footy over on occasions today, but gets plenty of it. Finds Laddams in open space, who is a beautiful kick for goal, Chris Laddams. If he can do something nicely inside 50, he very rarely finishes poorly. Getting some minutes in a game of footy. He probably thought his AFL season was over to a certain degree. Showed great form for North Adelaide under Andrew Jarman's tutelage in the SANFL. Getting some touches today. Needs to kick this goal for the Crows. They certainly do need a settler.
Only playing his 5th game for the season. Hasn't kicked a goal from 45 metres. Here's a beautiful kick. Good call, Chris. Straight through the centre.
The Idol Top 12's an exclusive club. Only 6 singers winners have made it in, and now the final 10 are lining up.
7 o'clock Sunday, it's semi-final 3, and this last group knows what it takes to impress the nation.
But can they perform under pressure?
Can't pull the wool over their eyes, guys. You better be good.
Then, 7:30 Monday, it's Judgment Day. Who'll survive 2 big nights of Idol? 7 o'clock Sunday and continues Monday.
Chris Laddam's first goal for the season. He's 1-1 in total. Goal for goal in this third quarter. Ling working tirelessly. Kicks towards Riccardi. Bounce wasn't kind. Favoured Gardner. Comes back inboard. Did well. Evaded the tacklers. High up and under kick. Ablett gets in the front and takes a good mark. Got rid of Dowdy, which is something he hasn't been able to do on a number of occasions this afternoon. But he's one of those players, Chris, that just can provide a spark, and when he gets going, it's so exciting to watch.
Oh, is he ever? And again, just shows the benefit of the strong body. So much stronger than Michael Dowd. He pushes him out the way with ease, takes the mark, should finish.
Gary Ablett replies, the quick reply to the Cats. He has 3 for the afternoon.
What are the chances of a tree falling onto your car at One Tree Hill?
I know.
Yup. Last weekend. And because the tree went through the roof, so did my insurance premiums. So I rang around to compare prices. But these insurance companies, Trev, they're all the same.
Did someone call the RAA?
Not me.
And on screen has booted 3 goals. And he's one of those players that never loses confidence in himself. You know, some players, if they're struggling, out of the play for 10 or 15 minutes, but he just keeps working hard. Interesting also, it's not very often you see players playing with the father and the son. But for the Cats, King, Graham and Riccardi all played with Gary Ablett Sr. and now, of course, playing with the son. The junior, who's booted 3 goals. McCarthy just getting ready to sprint onto the field. The great McCarthy just warming up on the boundary line. Ling for the Cats. Riccardi. He's had an influence since coming off the bench. Puts the ball out in front. That's a wonderful kick. Kingsley's got it.
Well, you've got to give credit to Mark Thompson, I think, KB. He's moved their forward line around. He's changed the matchups. They're working much better now for Geelong. Again, Kingsley isolated on Ben Rutten is not the ideal matchup for the Crows. Nathan Bassett's the man that can run with Kingsley. Rutten just getting shown up for pace a little bit, getting some good use of the footy. Riccardi on John Cox working well for Geelong. Geelong now inside 50 for the 13th time for the quarter. Adelaide only 4 times. Maybe not yet reflecting on the scoreboard, but momentum certainly with Geelong. Hasn't kicked well for goal though today, Kingsley, so no certainty to kick this.
This to get the Cats within 3 points. Great kick.
Stratco's new big shed at St Agnes is now open, and we're celebrating with big savings at all Stratco home improvement stores. 6 litres of Wattle Aspects, a low $39.95. 12 months interest-free terms on Stratco Outback verandas. Carpet floor mats, only $9.95. And Stratco Wayblock Good Neighbour fencing, just $72.16 a panel. Stratco's big shed at St Agnes, now open.
What you need today?
Certainly looking the goods. Kingsley with his second. Off the square infringement in favour of Geelong.
It's the closest the Cats have been since the 2.5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Stephen King, there's a secondary whistle. Off the ball, shepherding in the Adelaide defence, and it'll go back, reverse to Matthew Clark. Well, that's costly. Very costly when the Cats were mounting. Heads inside towards Perry, but that's a great mark, Matthew Scarlett. Expect to see that just about every week. Closing quickly, Biglands, good pressure. Graham needs to be up to the task. Has support with Sanderson. Biglands with a second tackle. Inspired football from the big man for Adelaide. Bassett out of the air. Gets the ball heading inside 50 again. Goodwin got rid of the tackler. McLeod, this to hurt. McLeod does it. The Crows reply. The margin back out to 9.
Fact, the 4-cylinder Toyota Camry is Australia's biggest selling medium sedan. Fact, the V6 Camry has lower running costs than any other large 6-cylinder sedan. Fact,
New Camry models are on the way, and Toyota dealers are running out current Camry models from 27,488 drive away. Toyota's all-out August. Genuine savings. Fact.
Here's McLeod with a bit of a hug.
Popular man, certainly, at Adelaide, Andrew McLeod. Kicks his first goal for a while, and they rejoice.
Yes, they like to see him do well, don't they? And obviously he's been down on confidence, and anything they can do to lift it. Here's Risciuto. Can he lift the spirits? The Crows by 9 points, 79 plays, 70. Loose ball. Burton feeds the ball off to Perry. Couldn't take it. Good bump on David Johnson. Here's McLeod to the front of the square. Leading out in front is Graham. Has been moved there after half-time. And Burton is happy to take the ball over for a boundary throw-in.
Andrew McLeod, as we said, what did the Crows need to get themselves back into this game? It was their leadership group to stand up. McLeod provided a spark, so has Risciuto. 7 disposals in this quarter for Risciuto. Burton having some minutes as well. The leadership group for the Crows leading the way.
Clark off, so Biglands does the ruck work. Jericho is on. Henschel with the ball wrapped up in the tackle by Milburn. So some danger signs here for the Cats. See Callan ready to come on as well. So the coach is ringing the changes. Big chance for the Crows. King gets his hands on the ball. Goodwin has been a star today. Back to his very best. Finds Stenglein. Didn't quite hit the target. Was looking for Dowdy. It was a sloppy handball. Ling's a beauty. Finds Mooney. Has to backtrack. Conceded ground. Comes on the left boot. Kicks the ball wide. Looking for McCarthy, who's just come off the interchange bench. Here's Gardner. Chauncey trying to keep it alive. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Finally forced over by Stevens. It's been a great battle today. 11-13, the Crows, 79. They lead the Cats 10-10-70, and you can see there Cameron Ling. He's hot with 6 possessions, and here's the sort of general and the playmaker to get things going. Speak of the devil. Ling finds Callan, who's just bounced off the interchange bench. Back to centre half forward. McCarthy sets himself. High flyer also was John Cock, who's come over the top, and he's nearly been unstoppable across half back. Finds Burton between half back and centre wing. Jericho, his lead's been ignored. McLeod also on a long lead. Biglands is going to jump hard. Went the big fist in front. Was McLeod, read it well, then somehow backs himself in. That's what we want to see with McLeod. Gives it across to Goodwin. That's magic play. Kicks it to the hot spot over the top. That was Harley. Went the thump. Picked up by Laddams. Quick snap. That's a big goal. And it was great play by McLeod. That brought a tear to your eye, Chris. I saw you there. You're getting very emotional. I can see you getting emotional. Just backed himself in the little handball. Here it is here. This is what you want to see from champions. Not being negative, and then this beautiful quick handball to Goodwin. Here's a tissue.
Yep, thank you very much. The Kleenex it was, and poetry from Andrew McLeod. Chris Laddams, his second goal for the quarter, celebrates it well. And the spark from the champ, a goal from the young fella, and the Crows get it back to 15 points.
Adelaide with the last 2 goals. King only as far as the goal kicker in Laddams. Flung as he gets the kick away. Hunt has a second attempt. Good tackle. Handball comes out to Goodwin quickly inside 50 again. Perry camped in front of the goal square. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills free. Mooney closing. Bock. What's he doing up there? They're all wanting to get involved. Henschel, 4 goals last week. Centres the ball. Jericho to fly. Good spoil though. The rush behind. But they've just answered every time they've been asked to answer this afternoon, Chris. Neil Craig would be very pleased with his outfit.
Certainly would be. Wants them to show character, stay in games and be competitive. Certainly done it today. And again, Neil Craig showing a lot of faith in his team as well, not rotating much off the interchange bench. Adelaide have used it 11 times, Geelong 23. Neil Craig showing faith in his young group.
Koulaitis, back edge of the square, goes towards Steve Johnson, worked his way to the front. Good spoil, Dowdy. Doing well, the Crows' back line. Bassett could have been pushed in the back to serve the free kick. The Cats players weren't holding the ball.
Nothing's coming. Koularitis looks a fair player for the Cats. He's quick. What happened with him as far as Port Adelaide was concerned?
Couldn't get a look in, KB. Just couldn't work his way into their best 22. We know what a great list Port Adelaide have got. And given an opportunity at Geelong over the last couple of weeks, can find the footy. And look, he'll be an important player come finals time.
Big ones with the tap. Bot. They're full of running at the moment, the Crows. Adams gets on the end of a Rashudo handball. McLeod goes to Shepherd. Kick towards Welsh. Milburn did well getting back. Has support with Corey. Jericho. Harley gives it back to Milburn. He's got Scarlett short as his link. Through the centre square now. Gardner had to do the spoiling. Stevens gathers the loose ball. Gives it off to Bassett. Again, the Crows' defence standing up well.
Some danger signs here for the Cats. They trail by 16 points. Must say Milburn was brave a few moments ago, running with the flow of the ball. Here's McLeod strutting his stuff to Bassett. A lot of run from half back out in front, looking for Perry. On the stretch, couldn't take it. Ben Graham has been moved into defence. Really struggled up forward. Cameron Ling just trying to generate some run amongst the troops. Here's Mooney, charges out of defence. Hammers the ball back to centre half forward. That's a great kick. And finds Gardner.
Ablett one-on-one inside 50 if he can get it in quickly.
He's the target. And those beautiful hands in front. Well, he's booted 3 goals. And he just could be the key up forward.
Well, he could be, and good work from Mark Thompson to isolate Ablett one-on-one against Dowdy inside 50. That's a match-up Geelong would like, and Mark Thompson would certainly like for body strength and for speed. Not a spot Michael Dowdy wants to be. And as we know, this kid can finish him and hurt you. And Geelong need this one.
12 possessions, 3 goals to Ablett. There's a great shot.
Ooh.
We can follow it in flight. He's hit the post. It just did not come off the boot, and you can see the tension there in the coach's box for the Cats.
You certainly can. Neil Craig comes to the ground at for the three-quarter time address. He'd be certainly happy. Geelong, the game, it just hasn't fallen into place for them today, has it? They've just looked off the boil. They haven't, and we know they've got a hangover when travelling, and not working well for them today, but they're still in this game.
Just a few seconds left. That would have been team-lifting stuff by Ablett as the clock counts down to three-quarter time. And at half-time, the Cats trail by 18 points. And at the last break, they trail by 15. 86-71, and there's a kick after the siren. It's a long, long kick, too far out. Stick around, big quarter coming up the last. 86 plays, 71.
The time to get into the OC is now.
Hi, sweetie. What are you doing here?
Don't believe what you hear.
I just want us to feel like a family again.
Don't believe what you see.
I want to say that I'm sorry. You've been there for Marissa.
Because as the saying goes, once a bitch, always a bitch. Fire, shit, busted. You won't want to miss how this episode ends.
You may be okay with lying to Marissa, but not me.
The OC, 8:30 Tuesday.
Call in for these great specials. Carlton Cold, only $29.99 a carton. Or Kaiser Stall 5-litre casks, just $9.99 each. And Canadian Club, buy 2 for only $48 or $24.99 each. Peter Lehman Core Range, just $7.99 each for 6 or more. And Trilogy Cuvée Brut, only $10.99 each, plus a bonus Magnum with a dozen.
Enjoying the game? Well, get ready as the AFL action continues on Widescreen Weekend. If you're still watching the game on a standard television, you're not getting the whole picture. With a widescreen plasma, you not only experience more game, more action, more excitement, but you receive the highest quality digital picture. So for the best advice on widescreen plasmas, talk to the guys at Harvey Norman. Widescreen, the only way to view the game.
Take me to the water. Take me to the water.
We all know how reviving, rejuvenating and cleansing it is to go down to the sea. Why not do the same for your car's engine? With Shell Helix, the active cleansing motor oil.
Is this working? Am I on yet? There's no sound.
If you're buying a new car in August, get the facts. Fact, thousands of Australians have already switched to Toyota. Fact, Toyota's All Out August is your chance to save on a range of new Toyotas. Fact, with new models already in the showroom and more on the way, Toyota is clearing run-out stock. Fact, you shouldn't buy a new car in August without seeing your local Toyota dealer.
Discount City Carpets presents the Ultimate Collection. A new style of carpet that is the thickest and most luxurious carpet ever and exclusive to Discount City Carpets. Because the Ultimate Collection of carpet is twice as thick as conventional carpet, no underlay is required. Not only is the Ultimate Collection available in a range of today's fashion colours, it's very affordable. Experience the Ultimate Collection of carpet now at Discount City Carpets, Superstores and Super Warehouse.
Some great duels today at Amy Stadium, and there's the Crows leading by 15 points at three-quarter time after trailing by 2 points at quarter time and leading by 18 points at half time. Can the Cats come back in this very big last quarter for the Cats, because so far this year they've lost all their 4 games on the road. 6-point loss to Sydney, 26-point loss to Fremantle, 4-point loss to Port Adelaide and 2-point loss to West Coast. If you don't want to know the score of the other game taking place, which is Carlton versus Melbourne, we suggest you look away now. And our intrepid boundary rider, of course, is Mark Asen, and he's going to catch up with King Hinkley from the Cats.
I certainly am, KB. When he joins us, actually, at the moment, they're still in the huddle, so they've taken a little bit longer than they normally do. You guys made an interesting observation. You said that the Cats were a little bit off the boil, but the interesting thing is that they're only 15 points down. I might just shoot back to you guys, and we'll see if we can get Ken as he walks off.
Mark, can I ask you, in terms of Wazinski, he's just been sitting there with the ice pack on his arm. Can you just tell us again, they think it's what, dislocated?
Yeah, that's right, KB. We thought it might have been fractured, but the good news is that it is only dislocated. And they also indicated to me that he may well play next week. I heard you say that would be ambitious, but that was the line.
We can just see him there on screen, and we can see also the Geelong coaching staff, and Ken Hinkley's just broken away now, so you may be able to grab a chance to grab Ken Hinkley, because obviously they're a little bit concerned about what has taken place in that first half, and Ken Hinkley, I can see there's just raced up the barrier because things are not going well for the Cats at the moment. There's Brenton Sanderson, who's been acting skipper in place of Stephen King, sitting on the interchange bench as well, along with Wazinski. So there they are, sprinting up. This is a big game for the Cats. They've won 14 games for the season. The Crows have won 7. They have not won on the road this year. They want to be a top 4 side, and they've got about 30 minutes to do it. Start of the last quarter at Amy Stadium. Magnificent day for football. Blue skies, 12-14-86 the Crows. They lead the Cats 10-11-71 by 15 points, and Tyson Edwards has been a star today along with Goodwin. He's had the ball 22 times. He's kicked a couple of goals, and Risciuto also with 18 possessions and a goal. And for the Cats, Tom Harley with 17 and Milburn with 16 gives you some indication that the defence has been under a lot of pressure. As Bassett comes away with the ball, goes wide, he can set it up. The loose player is Henschel, running with the flow of the ball. Make that Bock correction there as Bock traps the ball. He needs support, wants to backtrack, does it well. Trying to set it up. Rutten stands his ground, and that's a shocking kick. Taken away by Kent Kingsley, hammers the ball back inside 50 because Ablett's going to be the target. He needs a kind bounce. A bit of magic from the young man. He's got 3 to beat, and John Cock has been impassable today in the last line of defence, and just happy to step over the line.
He's certainly been a very good player today, Graham Johncock, but Ablett always looks dangerous when he's around the foot. He just didn't get the lucky bounce on that occasion. Adelaide's score against Geelong is already the highest score kicked against them since round 10. Geelong have had a lot of footy inside 50, about 48 to 38. But the Crows scoring at will when they get the ball inside there, 50, 26 6 scoring shots. Just shows you that Geelong just slightly off the boil.
17 possessions to John Cock. Burton is at half-back. Kicks a high ball. And taken that time by Rutten with very quick hands, finds Tyson Edwards. Kick had too much carry on the ball that time for Goodwin. Taken away by Hunt, finds David Johnson. They need some run out of defence. Here's Harley. He was looking for a good bounce. He got an ugly one. Chance now for Koularitis, who's been very impressive. Young man from Keilor. Started his career, of course, with Port Adelaide, and Ling finds Kent Kingsley.
Well, you could see it happening. Kingsley with so much space again against Benny Rutten. Again, he hasn't kicked well for goal. Not confident at all.
Trying to lay it off. This is dangerous because getting across was Tyson Edwards, but Callan has marked it on the stretch. And it came off. Just.
Now, I won't say I don't know about you, KB, because I do, and you would have had a shot from there. I mean, anything inside 100, I know you're having a crack at goal. Kingsley was, 40 metres out, and just at no stage was he interested in having a shot for goal. It paid off on that occasion, but certainly a man lacking confidence. Big kick, though, for Geelong.
Well, they played against Tim Callan's father. Of course, he was a very strong back pocket player for the Cats. This is the young man's 7th game. He's kicked 2 goals for the season. He should kick this. He's just 30 metres out. No angle to speak of, and he pops it through.
Does anyone have any questions for me?
Did you really wear these pants?
I did. Now, those are a 60-inch pair of pants, guys, and that's what I wore when I was over 425 pounds.
What's your favorite Subway meal now?
The sweet onion chicken teriyaki sandwich. Yeah.
How do you keep the weight off?
By eating better and exercising. And I hope all of you guys will do the same for yourself. So thank you so much.
To help you keep it off, try one of our new carb-conscious wraps. Turkey and ham, chicken and bacon ranch, or turkey and bacon melt. Subway. Choose well.
Tim Callan with his first. The Cats trail the Crows by 8 points. They haven't been in front since through that first quarter where the lead's changed 6 times. Need to get a couple of consecutive goals, though. They're up against a pretty impressive outfit in the Crows. Koularitis goes towards the right forward pocket. Johnson. Rutten happy to see the ball out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Attacking 50 for the Cats.
Any doubts going through their mind, Chris? 4 times on the road and so many close defeats.
Yes, they've got to linger, that's for sure.
And there's Koularitis, the young man who started his career with Port Adelaide. He's now in the top 5.
Oh, Bassett hurriedly under pressure. Just on cue. Gets it off to Ling. Towards Ablett. Has to stand his ground. Couldn't get a second bite of the cherry. Dangerous at ground level. But Graham Johncock has been up to the task all afternoon. Played a terrific game. Gets it to Laddams. King in for shoot. Well, you might think that's a bit of arrogance, but had time for a bounce. Perry set a task. Mooney got a hand to it. Ian Perry did well. Gets the kick in space. McLeod closing. David Johnson centres the kick in the direction of Welsh. It's a terrific kick. Andrew McLeod set up this opportunity. He's done some fantastic things this afternoon, Chris McDermott.
Certainly has. Pays his respect downfield to Ian Perry, who worked so well. His recovery was great. Got the ball to McLeod. And we haven't seen it many times, but the leg speed from Andrew McLeod, it's great work from Perry. That's what you want, a second effort. And that's vintage McLeod, taking it, breaking, a little bit of arrogance, a lot of confidence, some penetration in his leg. A beautiful kick to Scotty Welsh. Hadn't seen much of the footy today, Welsh, but needs to kick this answering goal.
For his first this afternoon, Scott Welsh directly in front. No problems.
Mobile phones, they can save your life. But did you know they can also kill you? Sometimes they do. A must-see Criminal Intent at 8:30. Then on NCIS at 9:30.
Possible execution-style murder of a Navy lieutenant commander. I'd like to take over the investigation.
I don't think so.
This will be twice the crime anyone expected.
2 killers on the list.
All new NCIS following Criminal Intent Sunday.
I spoke to Jared Crouch recently, the Sydney Swans, because he tags all the great midfield players. And I said, who's the quickest? And he said, McLeod. He just changes gear. He said, you just can't keep with him. You're alongside him, and all of a sudden, he just slips into another gear. And that kick going full pelt and then kicking it across his body on his non-preferred side, that was just class.
Yep, takes a talent. And number 23 has got that in buckets.
Goes by 14 points, 92 plays, 78. McLeod's now had it 18 times. Can the Cats rally? High ball. Kent Kingsley in front. Rutten with a big fist away. Young man just learning to play at full back. Chance for Corey around the corner. It's a quick snap. He's off target and through for a behind.
Well, it's certainly not for lack of opportunities inside 50 for Geelong that they are not in front. They've had it 51 times inside 50 to Adelaide's 39, but just not making the most of them.
We see Jericho coming off and Bigland's coming on as Callan there appeals for the mark. Not paid. And Bock is off. Gets plenty of support from Brett Burton, who runs hard to receive. Carries the ball to 60 metres, kicks a high ball. It's one for the high flyers. Look out, here comes Biglands. Couldn't take it. It's just come off the interchange bench. Here's Welsh at ground level to Henschel. This is a great kick. It's been touched by McLeod. Right on the line. I don't think McLeod knew where the ball was in terms of the goal line, but this was some snap. And McLeod,
look, I think he had to go for it. He made the right decision. Obviously didn't mark it, but certainly made the right decision. Andrew McLeod had to buy at that footy.
Throws by 14 points. Riccardi from centre half back. Hines Gardner. Back half of the centre square.
It'll be interesting, KB, to see who's got something left in the tank. We spoke a lot about Geelong's game last week, 100 tackles. Will it pay a price at some stage today?
Mooney finds Riccardi, just pops it out in front. That's a wonderful kick. Didn't have to break stride that time, Kent Kingsley. And he's marked just 25 metres out. It's good to have guys on the side who can actually kick the ball quickly through the air.
Yep, keep it low. You kick it 40 or 50 is a talent. Kent Kingsley certainly provided a handful for Ben Rutten. Nathan Bassett very good on him in the first half. Mark Thompson forces the switch. Kingsley with plenty of opportunities, just has struggled to put the score on the board. He's kicked 2, he should have kicked 4. Need to kick this one.
Pops it through. Cats within 8 points. 3 goals to Ken Kingsley, 2 coming in that third term, now 1 in the last quarter. Really wasn't a factor in the first half, but he has really played well in this second half of the game. Kick-started the Cats at the start of that third term with 2 goals, and Peter Riccardi continues to play well, coming off the bench. These days, of course, an absolute veteran, Peter Riccardi, 256 games to that man, and that man on screen just might be a match winner.
Well, they haven't looked like winning all day, Geelong, have they? But they've certainly hung tough. The conditions are tough. It could be a game of attrition, but they're hanging tough, Geelong, giving themselves every chance.
Plenty of time if they're up to the task. Burton gives it off to Goodwin. Stevens just on the ground. Mooney closing. Slight weight difference there. Stevens, good tackle, Mooney. Whistle blown. Scott Stevens wins himself a free kick, much to the angst of Cameron Mooney. Yeah, I don't think there's any argument there. Scott Stevens off the step, lets himself down, had Matthew Clark. Throw in. 65 from goal. 8 points the difference. Stengline flies. Only as far as Corey. Scrubs the kick towards Gardner. Bassett attacked it, wanted it more. Has a second attempt. Edwards stood his ground, got it back to Bassett. Stevens heads towards the square. Plenty of numbers around. Welsh decides to stay down. Scarlett off to Hunt. Dangerous handball. This will hurt. Biglands misses. He knows it too.
That could have been a monumental turnover.
And again, it's Josh Hunt. He's had a difficult day, and Rhett Biglands has had 6 opportunities at goal. And, well, I don't know about that one, Cam.
Please explain.
Yeah.
(13-16). 94 plays 12-13, 85. The Crows in front. Riccardi looking for Ablett, giving away a lot of height, fighting out of his division. Chance for John Cock. He's been a star across half back. Perry drops an easy mark. Maybe we can blame the sun. Recovers well. Edge of the centre square to centre half forward. Getting across is Mooney. had an altercation with the umpire, and Henschel takes the grab. There's a big kick, Henschel. He'll be kicking from just outside 50.
But great work again from Ian Perry. As you said, KB did drop the mark and one he should have taken, but his second efforts in his recovery so far today and over the last couple of weeks has been outstanding. Make a mistake, but make amends. Perry did it. Hits Trent Henschel with a beautiful leg. And no doubt about Henschel making the distance. Question of accuracy only.
Crows by 9 points. This to extend it to 15. Henschel. Yet to kick a goal. He kicked one behind in the second term. Gets underneath the ball. It's a high ball. Distance is there, not the accuracy. And through for a behind.
Continues the story all day. Both teams inaccurate in front of goal, not making the most of their chances. Josh Hunt gets another chance with the footy from a kick-off. Hasn't been the best part of his game today either.
It's a good point that you mentioned before. Last week was a tough game against Fremantle.
It's got to take its toll at some stage, and conditions today are a lot different, quite warm out in the sun.
I saw players last week nearly suffering from hypothermia. Here's Mooney from centre-half back. Bangs the ball back, running with the fly of the ball is Scarlett. So he's come down from defence. He likes to run forward, pops it up. He's looking for Riccardi, giving away some height that time. He did well to make it a contest with Clark. McLeod comes away from half-back. He's enjoying today. Finds Henschel. Tyson Edwards says, I want it. Henschel backtracks, conceded ground, finally gives it across to Stevens. It pops it up, and Welsh hits the ball hard. And Harley. The back line has been under a lot of pressure today. Harley and Scarlett and Milburn and Sanderson we've seen on the bench as well. And Josh Hunt, I mean, this has probably been the most testing for him for several weeks. They've won 6 games on the trot.
Well and truly under siege today. Crows finishing strong, full of confidence.
He's got 1 goal next to his name, Scott Welsh. It's coming in this last term. And he'll stand at 48 metres. Leans back. Likes it. Puts the hands in the air and kicks a goal.
Tom Harley not happy, but Scotty Welsh, the key focal point up forward for the Crows second half of the season. Struggled with injury for the first half. We didn't see the best of him, but we've certainly seen it since round 13 or 14. Andrew McLeod again, the instigator. The Crows needed a lift from their leadership group in the second half when Geelong had momentum. McLeod's been the player, along with Rashudo and Goodwin, that have provided the spark and given them a shot at victory.
So the Crows get the margin out to 16 points. Touch over 10 minutes remaining. Hunt affects the spoil. Callan pressured by McLeod. His game's been good this afternoon. Ball spills free. Ling to King, his captain. Has support out wide. Riccardi wants the left boot. Normally a good user of the football, and that's no exception. Well spotted up, Charlie Gardner. Kingsley provides the lead. Chapman goes to the pocket. Perhaps needs to get it moving on quickly. Adelaide now to get numbers back. Matthew Clark heads to the goal square. Charlie Gardner, you've got to go back and kick the goal for your side now. Lot riding on this kick. Kick from just inside 50. And pulls it left and just scrapes in for a behind.
No, never gave it a chance. Had to go strong at the goals. Had the breeze at his back. And again, Geelong not putting it beyond doubt. Adelaide have kept them at arm's length all day. But there is still time for Geelong. Top 4 chance. Maybe slipping through their fingers.
John Cox. Good kick. Rutten. Go to the outer side of the ground. It's out in the direction of Scott Stevens, flying high. Burton staying down though. Scott Stevens, better judgment. Burton breaks. He's got some space. Will the kick stay in? Well, Burton makes sure of that. Plays on quickly. Stops towards Welsh. Harley, good spoil out of bounds. We'll have a throw in right forward pocket. Crows leading by 15 points. 8.5 minutes remaining in this last quarter.
Well, they certainly wouldn't mind the ball in this position either. That was out on the full by about 3 feet. But in the danger zone for the Crows, Matthew Clark with the rucking responsibilities.
And he's so good at getting his hands on the ball. Here's a bit of magic to Risciuto. Two great players combining. Bring up a behind. Risciuto, just 19 possessions today, a bit below his normal average.
Yeah, thought Cameron Ling was fantastic on him, especially early. And Ling as well has got 29 touches, been a dangerous player for Geelong. Worked so hard and probably had the better of the drill.
And go short to Ben Graham, who has struggled today. Move to the back line after half-time. And Tenace just too small against Clark. That's his first mark today, but it's his hands at the stoppages, which really is the value of Matthew Clark. Stengline goes wide, and John Cock wants to go short and finds Welsh.
Play on.
Now, was it on the half volley? Welsh looking for some sort of affirmation. Doesn't like it. Has to give it up.
Affirmation. 37,576 here at Amy.
McLeod paddling the ball along in front. He's got Hunt to beat. Might have got into his back. He's got it. And a big roar goes around the ground.
So I've liked his second half.
It's been good. 20 possessions. He's kicked a goal. He's really lifted himself. The kick mightn't have been good. Too much carry on the ball taken away by Chapman. Looking for McCarthy. Did well on the stretch. Can't keep the ball alive. And finally, the ball is taken back over the line by Stengline. So it's a boundary throw in on centre wing. As the time clock ticks away, just under 7 minutes left in this last turn. 14-18, 102 the Crows. The Cats are 12-14, 86. And every team that scored over 100 points or more against Geelong have gone on to win this year. So from figures alone, the Crows are looking the goods. High ball by Koularitis. And there's his second grab to Matthew Clark. Sidesteps, dances on a dollar, goes into the pocket. He's looking for Perry. He's got Scarlett to beat. Trying to keep the ball alive. He wants a free kick. Laddams is at the bottom of the pack. Somehow it comes out, and Ling, this is possession number 30. He's had a great game playing on Risciuto. And finds Josh Hunt at centre-half back. Penetrating kick, looking for Tenace, who is quick. Just needs a kind bounce to get away. It was good tackle. Numbers went out, taken away by Burton. Wants to set up the loose player. It's a high ball. Graham goes the big fist from behind. Tenace couldn't take it. Needed to be a one-grab player. Taken away this time by Harley. The handball came from Graham. Harley stands on the edge of the centre square. The Cats badly need a goal. Getting back was Tyson Edwards. And Harley's down holding his back as well. But Tyson Edwards, we featured him at half-time. Forward or back. He's a mighty player for the Crows. Another mark to Clark. The floodgates have opened up. 3 marks in a minute. Happy to slow things down. We have seen the Crows, they can shut up a game. We saw even against St Kilda down at York Park that if they want to make it into a scrap, they can. McLeod. That lead's been ignored. High ball. Perry's going to run hard. Really made it a contest. Taken away by Scarlett with strength. Tries to break the tackle. Caught in the tackle that time by Scott Stevens. Let's have a look at Tom Harley, because Harley comes away and then is crunched that time by Welsh. And you can see that hurt.
Bounce 75 from home for the Crows. McLeod getting better as the game goes on. Good one to fly. Second attempt, third attempt. Play on's the call. Must have been touched. Got the kick away. Scott Welsh couldn't take possession, but follows it up with a great tackle. That's been a real feature of their game this afternoon, Chris. Their physical pressure on the Cats.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a key indicator from Neil Craig. He loves it when the forward line attack and put pressure. Scotty Welsh, a key player in that regard. Bit unlucky Simon Goodwin. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not. Ball stays in the danger zone.
Welsh with the tap out. Dangerous McLeod. Handball over the shoulder to Perry. He's having a good afternoon of it. Got Dowdy. Top of the 50-metre arc. Great kick centering. Play on's the call. Well spoiled Ablett on the counter-attack. Has Tenace another speedster. Gets around the tackler. Heads towards 50. This would cap off a great goal from the Cats. Not on this occasion. He's down. Bassett apologising.
Now, Riccardi was asking the umpire, what about a free kick downfield? I thought he should have actually given the ball off.
Yeah, it was great work from Nathan Bassett. Showed some courage too to run hard and strong at Tenace. Whether it was late, we're about to find out. Footy collision?
Well, he was committed to the bump, you'd say, Nathan Bassett. But sometimes you do see when players leave the ground, Chris, they'll get a free kick paid against them. But not on this occasion.
Well, leaving the ground is not necessarily a free kick in football. You're allowed to jump off the ground and bump a player, as long as you don't bump him high or late.
Put his arms up too, so probably sold the dummy a little bit, as though he was trying to smother the footy and not just make body contact.
Goodwin. The outside defensive 50. They've answered every challenge this afternoon, the Crows. They've played some wonderful football. Clark's having a good last quarter. Couldn't take the mark. Milburn taken high. Off to Mooney. Time might be against the Cats. McLeod closes. Affected the spoil. Crows away. Laddams heads up towards Perry. Worked extremely hard this afternoon. That's deliberate. Well, I read it wrong, KB. You're on the rules committee. Please explain.
I don't have to explain. Looked like he just put the ball over the boundary line. Just tapped it straight over. So it should have been a free kick to Scarlett. He appealed for it. Time clock now the enemy for the Cats. They trail by 15 points, 102 plays, 87. Goodwin just couldn't quite get the bounce he wanted. Koulouridis been very impressive today. And there's a terrific smother off the boot by Dowdy. And they're applauding at Amy Stadium.
Chris, just get the impression that the players have really relished the fact that the vacant coaching position's been announced. They can get on with the job.
No doubt about it. Certainly stopped all the speculation, all the negative media, and Neil Craig has released the brakes off this team, and they're certainly enjoying playing for him at this stage.
Corey took the ball from Hunt, the half-forward line, and backing back is Bassett. May have taken a bit out of the Cats. They haven't looked quite as sharp today. I mean, they've been very, very tough at the ball, and they've been strong in the clinches. They've won 6 games on the trot, but that game last week, and players suffering from hypothermia and really struggled in very, very tough conditions. And they just haven't been quite as sharp today. Plus, of course, they lost James Bartell as well during the week. They've lost Kelly, who is having a fantastic season in the midfield, and also Corey Enright, who plays a similar role down back or in the midfield. I know that Ben Hart's not there and Ken McGregor, but the Cats have lost some key players, and today the Adelaide Crows have been fantastic. Here's Rutten. This young man is very impressive. He's only playing game number 10. He's got Henschel in his sights. Looked like he thought he should have got the free kick, but it's been pounced on by Tyson Edwards. Runs to 35, closes to 30 and bangs it through. Two goals to Tyson Edwards, one coming in the second quarter, and that's a closing goal for the Crows.
Game over, no doubt. Tyson Stingline puts the exclamation mark on this game of footy. Benny Rutten has an involvement in it, but Tyson Edwards with pace, with poise, with class, and a great win to the Adelaide Footy Club here at Amy Stadium against the finals contender. Too good on the day. Just too good on the day today. Adelaide had a little bit more run, a little bit more poise, just done it a fraction better than Geelong, and the hoodoo continues for Geelong. 5 trips into state for 5 losses, and a final trip into state, maybe not too far away. Still not quite right for Mark Thompson and his boys.
They'll have to go back home, lick their wounds, and take on the Hawks at School Stadium next week. They have just been beaten comprehensively around the ball today, Chris. They've played some very good physical football, the Adelaide Crows, which is something that hasn't been there consistently this year.
Yeah, and I thought Geelong with some stronger bodies may have been able to out-muscle them, but I think last week has paid a price and taken its toll on Geelong. haven't been as strong and as hard as at the footy as Adelaide have. And when the game was in the balance after the arm wrestle, the leadership group of the Crows, led by Andrew McLeod, has been too good.
Well, it's a great win for the Crows this afternoon. Sets up a showdown next week with Port Adelaide, who comprehensively beat Collingwood last week. Edwards wants another slice of the pie. Unselfishly, play on's the call. No 15, Shirley towards Rashudo. Bounce wasn't kind. Johnson there to pressure, as is Scarlett. Rashudo has another go. Shirley closes. Will it stay in? Yes, it does. Scarlett back to Graham. Quiet afternoon for Ben Graham. Only as far as Tyson Edwards. Kicked a goal a few moments ago. You'd say perhaps outside his range, Chris.
Yep, no doubt. He'll try and pick somebody off, unless they just burn the time. Hopefully he just tries to pick somebody off inside 50, but no, as we feared, burn the time.
Bassett back to Tyson Edwards.
Look, that's the sort of play you can understand if the game's in the balance and there's only a kick in it, but when you've got the game won, you might as well attack, get the extra goal.
John Cock provides the lead, takes a great mark as Neil Craig makes his way down to the ground. They'll celebrate a great victory this afternoon at 80 Stadium. The Crows run out victors 15-18, 108. They continue the horror run interstate for the Cats, 12-15-87, as John Cock has a kick after the siren. Not a bad attempt. Fades to the right for a behind, but they've deserved the victory this afternoon, the Adelaide Crows.
Yes, a great victory, and they'll be singing that famous song, Chris, and that man on screen, Graham John Cock, had a fantastic game. He was inspiring across half-back, and Neil Craig walking off. He'd be pretty proud today with that performance. So they've won 2 on the trot, a good effort against the Tigers last week, and they carried it on right from the first quarter, and we could see today that the Cats had a game on their hands.
No doubt about it. I think that's now 4-6 in the Neil Craig reign, so he's certainly got some victories for the Adelaide Footy Club that they've been looking for. He's got to be happy with that. Peter Curran with him as well. He will pay credit to his coaching committee and his group of young players, so superbly led by Mark Rashudo, developing nicely. You said it during the call, KB. They can get ugly and mix it ugly, and they've certainly now can blow a good quality team away back at Amy Stadium. Their form here for the first part of this year wasn't good, but Geelong can hold their heads up high. Gary Ablett was a great player for them with limited opportunities, but you always feared that last week would take its toll on them. They lose a game they probably thought they could win, but 4th spot still beckons for Geelong, and they're going to go on in September, where the Crows season is 1 game away from finishing.
And a big showdown, of course, next week for the Adelaide Crows against Port Adelaide. But when you've got Simon Goodwin with 25 disposals and Andrew McLeod with 24, they've picked 3 goals between them. You know that they're getting a bit of the ball, and they're such good users of the ball. Disappointing today for the Cats. They'd won 6 on the trot, and I just feel that maybe they had the sting taken out of them with that tough game last week in Melbourne. The conditions that were appalling in Melbourne last week. But there's Goodwin, of course, and Tyson Edwards. Let's go down to Mark Aston, because he's got the skipper, Mark Rashudo.
Good on you, Mark. Congratulations. Yeah, it was a good win. We didn't have any finals to play for like they did, but we certainly had to test ourselves against a good side and got a win. It's been a dreadful season, and I know you've only got 1 more game to go, but the last 2 weeks have been very good, haven't they, for the club? Yeah, it's been a big learning curve for a lot of players at the club. Guys like me to play for 10 games knowing you're not going to play in the finals has been different, and for all the younger players just to get some experience has been great. So it's been getting better as the year goes on, and hopefully that can translate in next year's good form.
Is there a feel that a lot of the players are enjoying themselves more now? And I know it's a touchy subject, but can you make a comment about that?
Oh, not really. Like, no one enjoys themselves when they're injured, and we've had a lot of injured guys earlier on in the year, but certainly if you win, you're happy, and that's what we've had a few wins in the second half of the year.
And speaking of enjoying himself, Andrew McLeod seemed to enjoy himself today.
Yeah, he played well again. He's had a good year. He copped a bit of stick early on, but he gets a lot of close attention. He still had a very good year.
And just quickly, Ian Perry, is it the same Ian Perry we saw at the start of the year?
Well, he's getting a bit more consistent, which is good, and once again, hopefully he can do that next year.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thanks, mate. Mate.
Mark Aston down there at ground level with a man who just might win the Brownlow medal for the 2nd time, and I thought today that man on screen actually enjoyed his game. I saw him a couple of weeks ago down in Tasmania. He didn't look like he was quite enjoying playing across half-back. And I think early in the game, even though he wasn't getting the ball, he was running hard to the packs, just trying to get the crumbs, and he just missed out on a couple of occasions, but he just continued to work. And of course, in the end, McLeod kicked a very important goal and got it 24 times.
Neil Craig's changed his role. He started off when Neil Craig first took over, having Andrew McLeod sweeping about 30 metres behind the play. Took him out of the contest on too many occasions. He's changed it and put him in amongst the action the last couple of weeks, and we have seen a renewed and reinvigorated Andrew McLeod. Today's the best game he's played offensively for a long, long time. His legs were moving well, maybe didn't kick the ball well. He probably should have kicked 3 goals. With no penetration in that right leg, that's hurt him, but much better from Andrew McLeod, and a pretty happy Chris Laddams as well, enjoying his 5th game for the season, kicked a couple of goals, and maybe there's a little bit of hope for Chris Laddams around the track as well.
I notice also the number of young players in the side that even if they don't get a lot of the ball, they're picked the following week. Obviously, there's a policy with the Adelaide Crows to make certain you play the young players, those who they think have got ability, just to give them those extra games through this season. They've won, what, 8 games now, the Crows. But they've shown a lot of faith in a lot of players, hopefully that it's going to pay dividends next year.
Neil Craig has done that, given them some real confidence, that young core group of players, showing, as you said, a lot of faith in them. Having a good look at them too. There's going to be some hard decisions made about this football club through September and October when it comes time to trade and draft. But he's giving kids every opportunity to be a part of this club for the next 3 years.
Well, they're not a lost cause, are they, when you consider they're beating a side that's won 14 games and 6 on the trot, beating the likes of Melbourne and St Kilda and Brisbane and Essendon. So it's a fair effort today by the Crows, and there's Reedy trying to get him in to sing that song. Snowball chords are not that good, are they? Oh, is that Reedy?
Right on South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grows. We're courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our foes. Adoration of the nation, our determination shows. We're the pride of South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grows.
Second to thought and second in the Olympics. So much emotion. Well done, Ian. Wins the gold medal. What a swim. And that...
It's not just the advanced technology, the 16 patents, or world-class blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Gillette Mach 3 Turbo. The proof is in the shave. Mach 3 Turbo is the closest, most comfortable shave. It's a fact. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette, the best a man can get.
I reckon anything better than being here is seeing it up close and perfect on a Fujitsu Plasmavision. Only Plasmavision has the exclusive AVM chip for the clearest pictures. Get a Fujitsu like I did. It's the world's finest plasma.
Fact, not only does the unbreakable Toyota Hilux 4x2 outsell both Ford Courier and Holden Rodeo, the range starts from $16,990 with air. Fact, the Hilux 4x4 range have been the top-selling 4x4 utes for over a decade. And the turbo diesel starts from just $29,990 with air. Toyota's all-out August. You'll get genuine Toyota value. Fact.
For more choice and the lowest prices, sprint into Bunnings Warehouse. Snail and slug pellets only $1.25. Paint roller kit just $3.95. Electric blower vac, great value at $55. Exhaust fan alloy $14.98. Set of 2 toolboxes $12.98. And plastic laundry basket a bargain at $2. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Toughest trucks on the planet. Jump Mania, Adelaide Entertainment Centre this Sunday afternoon. The family show that wowed Adelaide last year is back with US legend truck Barefoot and Transzilla 2. Jump Mania, the Entertainment Centre this Sunday afternoon. Book it fast now.
Don't miss this one. Harvey Norman's huge interest-free sale. 4 days only. 4 years interest-free for you. Now's the time to buy electrical, furniture, computers and much more on 4 years interest-free terms. TVs, DVDs, fridges, plasma screens. 4 years interest-free. Lounges, dining, bedding and bedroom furniture. 4 years interest-free. Computers, printers, digital cameras, games, mobile phones. 4 years interest-free. But be quick. 4 days only. 4 years interest-free. Conditions apply. See store for details. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Sign up to the new Chic Quattro, the world's only razor with 4 blades and 2 conditioning strips. No other razor shaves closer or smoother than Chic Quattro. Get ready.
Look, all new fantastic packages.
A lounge.
With twin recliners.
Coffee table.
Lamp table.
And 7-piece dining suite.
Plus a bonus TV.
12 pieces, $19.99.
And pay nothing until 2006 with no deposit. Look on you.
Well, it was a magnificent day for the Adelaide Crows, of course, trailing by 2 points at quarter time, but finally running out winners by 22 points, 15-19, 109, to the Cats 12-15, 87. And a magnificent performance by the Crows, and of course the Cats this year unable to win on the road, as we see the Adelaide Crows just there in their warm down. And of course, Chris, Neil Craig has done a mighty job. He's won the last 2 games after being, well, the coach of the Adelaide Crows against the Tigers in that last quarter, and they did it again today.
Yeah, look, they were fantastic today, got great contribution from everybody across the board, and against a quality side. I mean, we're not talking about a mug here, we're talking about Geelong, who have beaten all before them, and a very good even win with some kids, and a playing group, let's face it, that's been decimated all year. Hasn't had a lot to choose from, but got a great effort from everybody today.
Well, Mark Aston has been very, very busy today, and he's got the coach down the rooms.
I certainly have, KB. That's almost as if you won a final, Neil.
Oh, no, Mark's not. No. Final's a lot better than this. I can guarantee you that. But it was a great effort by the players. I think I heard Chris say that Geelong, you know, we all know where Geelong are going, and they'll play some good finals football. But it was a pretty special win for our guys.
I guess what I mean was the feeling down here compared to a loss is extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, everyone's running around and patting each other on the back, and the players are pretty pleased with themselves. I guess the feeling down here is terrific.
Oh, yeah, and so it should be. I mean, it's always important to enjoy your wins. But the key thing there is just do it in the right manner, and, you know, you go about it the right way. But, yeah, they should be pretty pleased with themselves, because we're trying to set the agenda where we are playing to win, irrespective of the squad that we've got and the experience that's there. It's always important to have that culture.
And Neil, the manner you were looking for was contribution from everybody across the ground, and you certainly got it. A win not necessarily reliant on Rashudo and McLeod, who maybe have been carrying the can for most of the year.
Yeah, it's a good call, Chris. I mean, we sort of actually spoke about that in the box, and it's probably from both sides that there didn't seem to be a really, you know, outstanding player on the ground, and we were certainly happy with the spread that we got. Particularly, I mean, you always bank on your older guys playing, you know, strong footy. I think the key thing though was some of the younger guys to have that experience and to have to dig deep to hang on.
Neil, I thought today that you actually went very direct. I suppose that might be because Henschel's back on the side and you've got Perry down there and Welsh down there.
Yeah, I think the other thing, Kevin, is that we're also just playing for structure where we're trying to play some bigger players down there, and I don't think there's any question. When you come through the midfield and you look up, I mean, even though you may not see exactly who it is, if you see some size, it's a pretty good incentive to go long and strong, and it'll develop into a pretty important play for us, I'm sure.
One of those blokes with a bit of size is Ian Perry. How do you explain that turnaround in such a short space of time? His last 4 weeks has been tremendous.
Yeah, it has, Chris. I mean, we've all seen glimpses of Ian, and I don't know. I mean, you'd have to talk to him, and I'm sure you will at some stage when you see him. I think it's about Ian Perry just sort of knowing what his role is and not expecting too much of himself. We certainly don't expect him to win the game off his own boot, but we do expect him to contribute when it's his turn to do it.
He's only played 10 games, Ben Rutten, but it looks like he could make a fullback.
Yeah, I think so, Kevin. He's, I mean, he's had the bat tippers on a fire. I mean, since he started, I mean, he's basically stood the best big forwards in the competition week after week. You know, and he's probably going to get one more opportunity next week to have his final go at it. But you'd have to say, from what we've seen so far, that Ben's equipped himself pretty well. You know, not out of the woods, but you know, we've been crying out for a big backman for a long period of time, and just hopefully Ben can fit the bill there.
Heard you say before the game that you didn't think Geelong would pay a price for their game last weekend. Was that fair income or not? Because I thought the way you attacked them, you wore them down, and they hung tough, but it always looked like you had them at arm's length.
Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I just really probably from my own playing experience. I mean, everyone sort of says when you play in the wet, it's you know, it's really tough on your body. Maybe I found it differently. I found that those really wet games, and it was a really wet game for them, there's not a lot of, not the same physical contact, there's not the speed in the game. So anyway, that's my observation. Maybe it could be wrong.
Neil, thank you very much for that. Neil Craig down the rooms, of course. The Adelaide side today, winners by 22 points over Geelong. We'll come back with more, of course, with this great game today with the Adelaide Crows bouncing back. And, of course, they're now very, very confident. They've got the showdown next week against Port Adelaide. Back with more after the break.
2004 is on the line for the Bombers. Now the desperate Swans have Essendon in their sights. It's Sydney or bust for the Bombers in a must-win clash. Sydney take on Essendon live 6:30 tonight on 10.
At Truscott Hi-Fi, good things come in threes. 1. Conquer 51cm TV with DVD player, $299. 2. Conquer 68cm TV with DVD player, $479. And 3, Conquer 80cm TV with DVD player, only $699. Plus, all TVs come with a 5-year warranty. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free term.
Buckley's fallen awkwardly.
Doesn't look too good, Nathan. Let's take your boot off. What are you doing?
Only Coca-Cola goes the distance to get you exclusive AFL prizes like captain's jerseys and footy signed by last year's 3 Brownlow medalists. To enter, just drink code and SMS the last 4 digits of your barcode to 1887624. The Coca-Cola Big Game Hunter promotion.
Hey Trev, I've noticed a pattern.
Yeah, what's that?
My house at Goodwood burned down. My house at Norwood burnt down. My house at Blackwood burnt down. And every time I've been burnt by the insurance company. So, no more suburbs with wood in them. I'm moving.
Where to?
Burnside.
The new Braun Activator Smart Foil captures hair growing in any direction for a closer shave, and its cleaning center keeps it feeling like new every day. New Braun Activator. It's the world's best self-cleaning shaver, guaranteed.
Introducing Subway's new carb-conscious wraps, like the savory chicken bacon ranch wrap and the turkey and bacon melt wrap, packed with all the delicious taste you'd expect from Subway. But with 11 net carbs or less, they'll help you satisfy your low-carb goals. As for your other goals, like avoiding your in-laws indefinitely, well, there you're on your own. The new carb-conscious wraps from Subway.
To celebrate the first and second place small cars in Australia's Best Car Awards, the Hyundai Getz and Accent now come with $1,000 free fuel. We win, you win. See a Hyundai dealer today.
Heroes denied their medals, righting a terrible wrong.
Not just for my unit, but for every unit that served in Vietnam.
A plea for justice. 10 News, Monday at 5.
Yes, it was a magnificent day here for football, and the Adelaide Crows have come through and they've won their last 2 games, and Neil Craig was very, very happy after the game. They look forward next week to the showdown with Port Adelaide. Showdown 16, I think, Chris McDermott tells us. And, of course, their goal kickers with Edwards with 2 and Goodwin with 2 and Laddams with 2 and Perry. They had 9 individual goal kickers. And Ablett, of course, with 3 goals along with Kingsley. Of course, there's been another game in progress right throughout the afternoon. If you don't want to know the score between Carlton and Melbourne, look away now. Well, it's been a very, very entertaining game today. And look, Neil Craig, well, it's not absolutely exuberant, but he's quite happy to be the coach and he's quite happy to get the 4 points.
He'd be exuberant behind closed doors, no doubt about that. That's a great win, their best win under Neil Craig so far. Geelong quality team, as we said, will play finals, and the Crows did very well today.
Yes, they did. Well, to all of our listeners and viewers from Channel 10, we say goodbye. And for those sticking around, Super Saturday coming up on Fox.
The 2004 Toyota AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by our broadcast partners. Toyota, oh what a feeling. Carlton Draft, the beer behind footy. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning. And BWS, beer, wine and spirits.
This program proudly brought to you by Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. And Subway. Eat fresh.
Before the game, as the final four get settled, the winners this round. Port Adelaide smashing Collingwood at the G last night by 37 points, and today a couple of upsets. Carlton at Optus Oval, possibly for the second last time over Melbourne, and of course Adelaide. Thanks, guys. Nice prompt Tuesday. And Adelaide over Geelong at Amy Stadium, a big win over there. Let's introduce the guys from SAFM's breakfast show. It's Limo.
Thank you. Thanks.
The lovable rogue, that is Dave, Musi Hughes and Nova 100. And the lady with the funkiest mullet in football from AFL.com.au, Samantha Lane. And now to tell us what's on the show, the heartbroken Anthony Hutto Hudson.
Thank you, everyone. It's a very big show, a very quick show, but joining us here in the studio will be Magpie midfielder Scotty Burns. After the disappointment of the last night, we're going to cross down to Optus Oval after the big clash, the Blues' big win over Melbourne, where Andy Marr catches up with Daniel Harford. We'll also go inside 60 with Mark McVeigh from the Bombers. And speaking of the Bombers, we'll get up to Telstra Stadium in Sydney, where Stephen Quartermain will preview the big clash between the Swans and Essendon. We'll have all the previews of the other round 21 matches. And, of course, the tool of the week and the banners. It's going to be a big show.
It's going to be a big one. Oh, we can't wait to get stuck into it. And I tell you what, last week...
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen, and it just probably won't. But last week we had the lovely Mark Johnson on our show.
He was lovely.
And something happened. Because he went on and he got up to some mischief.
Afterwards.
Obviously.
We must have fired him up.
Well, media reports suggested that...
Delightful young chap,
He was nice.
He was delightful.
And apparently him and Chris Tarrant
Had a
at a
bit of
nightclub, had a biffo. Have a look at him. This is 6 hours before the biffo.
He was nice.
He's looking like he's having a great time.
He wasn't angry, was he, Dave?
To him.
He was so nice.
He was.
I think it's the last time Mark Johnson asked Chris Tarrant for a cougar and 5 cougars and a slice of lemon, though. I think that's what
I
started
could say it wasn't Johnson's fault, though, the dust-up, because he did offer to settle it with a dance-off.
Yeah.
But Chris Tarrant didn't really want to. I have inside info on it. Yes. You know how it happened, Sam?
Tell me,
well,
Dave.
how I heard it happen was that Tarrant had Danny Jacobs, a Hawthorn player,
in a headlock.
In a headlock. Bit of fun, bit of hijinks.
Yep,
Mark
hijinks.
Johnson didn't realise it was hijinks.
And he
came over and said, Tarrant, don't put him in a headlock. And then Tarrant said, well, that was hijinks, but how about we go for it?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's what I heard. Anyway, I can tell you, Dave, that I've seen the security footage. Right, yeah. The video footage, complete with Eddie's bias commentary.
Were they? Kevin was pretty relaxed about it. They just did a bit of a secret training session. I don't think it was really a big deal.
I like the fact that Collingwood said that Chris Tarrant was disciplined internally. I mean, what did they do? They take one of his kidneys? How did that work?
I think the most disturbing aspect is that these young men were at Billboard nightclub, because I think that was...
there you go, they're drinking cards from Billboard. I think there was another bloke, apparently Adam McPhee was there as well, getting quite rolled up. He was looking for Richie Vandenberg, actually.
Let's get into the big games today, and it starts out Optus Oval, as we mentioned, a big win for Carlton, an unexpected one, and the Demons are now struggling. They're limping into the finals. 8-14 they could manage today. David Neitz goalless, 14-9-93 the Blues.
Yes, David Neitz kicked 4 behinds and 1 didn't even make the goal line. This is him in the first quarter. Not a good start for the Demons, just absolutely sprayed it. Nick Stevens, on the contrary, was brilliant for the Blues, collected 35 touches. Brendan Favola was afforded heaps of room and he kicked 4 goals. He's a beautiful Stevens goal in the second quarter, and the Blues absolutely lapped it up at Optus Oval. Neil Danaher said after the match that his boys are really tired. I think we can see that for ourselves. They've lost their run, their zip, and their daring, according to Neil. Interestingly, too, today was a big day at Optus Oval. There were 2 factions collecting signatures, and I understand the group to look at staying at Optus Oval in one way or other collected several hundred more signatures, including Phil Purnell, another premiership player. So
it's like a Big Brother challenge. They collected 100 more signatures, and now they go to the diary room.
Well, if we leave, at least I'll have some memories from Optus Oval. You know, I'll have souvenirs to remember my time going to Optus Oval.
What are they, Dave?
They're parking fines. I remember from going to Optus Oval.
We all like that.
Yes, more to come there. Watch this space.
Well, before we cross down to Andy Marr, down to the Optus rooms, he has Daniel Harford standing by. There was another game on at Optus Oval, and this might be the future of that Optus Oval hosts these kinds of games. It was the big game, the big clash of traditional rivals, the Japanese Samurais versus the New Zealand Orcs. I don't know. But this is a bit of a whole... This is Kenny Wasabi putting one through. I'm not sure his name. And Andy Marr actually caught up. Listen to this post-match interview of Andy Marr.
ありがとうみたいな、そんな感じでしたかったんですけど、僕来るフォワードなんですけど、1点も決めれなくて、
And pretty tough conditions out there.
とても残念な結果に。
So win clearly going to the left of screen according to Crazy Horse. Thanks for your time, Fab. Back to you, boys.
He said he was just happy to get the 4 points.
He's just happy to get the 4 points, taking each week as it comes. Fantastic. Well, let's go now to Andy Marr in the Optus Oval rooms, possibly for the second last time. To the winners' rooms, of course, he is with Daniel Harford, thanks to Gillette Champion. Now, Andy, I imagine the feeling's pretty good in the Optus rooms.
This club's seen that song belted out happily on occasions, and it got belted out happily tonight. It was a great win. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. It was a terrific effort by the boys. It was one of those games where we need to sort of show our supporters that there's still something to offer for the Carlton Footy Club, and we've had a pretty rough couple of years, but hopefully we're turning it around now.
Daniel, is it fair to say you've got more joy out of your 1 year at Carlton than you did in your 10 years at Hawthorn?
It's getting that way, Hughesy. It's been good. I've really enjoyed the challenge, and the fact that you can come here and play in a really great atmosphere at Optus Oval and win games is terrific.
Thanks. Daniel, any truth to the rumours that you could be coaching Hawthorn next year?
I did apply, but I don't think I got an interview.
Daniel, tell us a bit about the week, because you were running laps, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. Was it a little bit different in the lead up to the match?
Yeah, the 6-day turnaround coming back from Perth, Sam, was always on Dennis's mind, and he just wanted to keep us fresh. And I know you were a bit bemuddled and thought Dennis was playing funny buggers on Tuesday when we had the run around the Oval, but it was just his idea of keeping us fresh and ready for this game.
Very good, it worked.
Well, congratulations, Daniel. Congratulations on your own form as well, finding some form late in the season. And just quickly, we did go to school together at Parade College. The year level won a Herald Sun Shield final. I missed out of it on the position in the team. Was I unlucky?
The 23rd man, Pete, I was on the selection committee. I just couldn't squeeze you in.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season. Eddie, I think you got something for him there.
Well, you know I have, Pete. We've got the Gillette pack for Daniel Harper. Have a shave before you go for dinner. Well done today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Well done.
Thanks.
I was unlucky. Yeah, very unlucky. But very sick.
No doubt about that. All right, Adelaide and Geelong talk about unlucky. Well, Geelong went down to the Adelaide Crows.
They haven't won interstate this year. A big upset at Amy Stadium there. Gary Ablett kicked 3 goals. It was a great goal early, and Geelong looked set for victory, but Ian Perry was one of 10 individual goal kickers for the Crows. He kicked 2, a nice long one there. David Wojcinski, a bad blow for him. He's injured his elbow, and that was his first game back from injury. Kent Kingsley, keeping the cat vaguely in it there. He kicked a couple of goals too, but Andrew McLeod was in blistering form in the second half at his absolute best. Simon Goodwin also. Cameron Rooney having a bit to say to the umpire.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can get in trouble for that kind of thing.
Oh, that's like, oh, I reckon you might be able to.
Behaviour unbecoming or
Well, you'd
something
think
like that?
so. That was like a gun to the
Cameron
head.
Mooney.
That's dodgy.
It's
That's a little
guns.
bit dodgy.
Guns are guns, even if they're finger guns. They're the most dangerous kind. But we love going to the footy. We love checking out the banners, guys. And we checked out some beauties this week, Limo.
Yeah, I checked out the Collingwood banner last night at the GP. When you're on the turf with Tarrant, here's the thing to do. If you're going to try to dodge a shout, then dodge his punches too.